Tonight, we're bringing this week's news with thanks to SayIntentions. We're checking out the TFDI MD-11 update, which is on the way, FlightSim Studio's E-Jets, TaiModels Bozeman, and a small update from iniBuilds for Ibiza. Hello, everybody, happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, the halftime show, the Midweek Shuffle. Welcome to the news. And yes, we have news tonight, friends. It's relatively quiet over the last week, which we would have expected. You know, developers go on vacation or holidays, or others are locked inside a room and must keep developing. So, yeah, we've a bit to cover tonight, but I hope you're all keeping well. Hope you've had a great day. The weather is still terribly brr. As it's current, well, it's 7 degrees here in Tipperary now. 7. And they're expecting some snow tomorrow for a little bit. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Be Janie then. But Anne Doyle. I love you, Anne Doyle. Brilliant, Adam. But anyway, yes, tonight we're going to be covering all the news making the headlines for our beloved flight simulators. We're going to be catching up, of course, with massive news from SayIntentions. We're going to cover a lot of what Brian was chatting about the other day. Some exciting features coming. We're also going to be checking out the update, which is due for the TFDI Design MD-11. Now, it's not currently released. They're trying to get it out before the holidays. It didn't happen, but we're going to jump in just to see a little check-in on the work that they're currently on at the moment. We're also checking out a brand new scenery, this one from TaiModels, and in partnership with iniBuilds, they've released Bozeman, which is in a part of the world I'm mad to get to. Right, we're up near Yellowstone, neck of the woods. So cowboy hats on for this one. Then we're going to be checking out a bit of progress on the FlightSim Studio's E-Jets. All sorts of news about them over the last couple of days, with A330 driver putting out a video. But the aircraft are still in development, and I never got a chance to check them out. We were flying, was it yesterday? Yesterday we were flying the Lineage flight X-Crafts over the world of X-Plane 12, and that's an amazing aircraft. So we'll see how the FlightSim Studios ones are also kind of, you know, shaping up, and see how they go. And then lastly, iniBuilds have released an update to their Ibiza Enhanced scenery. A couple of small fixes here and there, but I was cold and I said I want to go somewhere warm, which are right, and we'll be checking that one out as well. You see, also big news this week, we have some new hardware being announced and all this sort of stuff. Videos already surfacing of the new Moza MRPs. I have them over here, look. Hang on. They're very heavy. Oh Jesus! I'll be doing a video with these fellas now next week, because I'm still well, you know what I'm like, right? But yes, new MRP pedals, they're called, from Moza. I was watching a couple of videos. Jesus, the weight of them. XP72 is like, they're a spaceship. They are a bit like a spaceship in fairness. But next week we'll do a full kind of demo of what they are and what they really are. Do you know what I mean? And they're also very heavy. Someone remind me I've left them there. Right, you know, I've just created myself a trip hazard, or I've now defended myself in a fort. Well, one or the other. But yeah, jeez, the way to them. Looking forward to messing with those now next week. But anyway, we're back here tonight. How are yous? How was your day? How was your week going? Maybe it's your first week back into work or back to school after the holidays. And well, I hope everything's going brilliant for you. Do you know, I did the same. I was productive today. Yes, friends, very productive. Bought some coal and briquettes, right, to keep Greta happy. And what else did I do? I ordered a gadget from my sitting room, my living room.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a box. Because the Christmas decorations have been taken down, friends. Yes, Mr. Two-Tone has removed all the beautiful decorations. They're gone to the attic, and we won't see them now to the, well, you know, next Christmas. But it meant now, after all me painting and decorating and tidying up, I'm like, oh, Jesus, we have a bit of space. So it's time to fill the space with more stuff. Right, that's how it works. So that's what I did today. Do you know? But where's this now? We're over here, look. Tarnish Mossman, happy hump day, Aj. You're very welcome in, buddy. CP is in the house. Welcome aboard. Bit of tunage, maestro. Ah, yes. Don't mind that. Photoshop. Where are we at now? Vacuum, a very good evening to you. Mrs. TPHI with questionable gardening choices. Who's upside down? You're very welcome aboard. That'd be funny actually if that picture was upside down. But anyway, Fierce Wolf, looking fierce and wolfy, welcome aboard. Chalks is in the house, happy Wednesday. Is January over yet? Filthy, good evening. Uniform Goose, good day, Goose. You're very welcome in. Captain Kenobi, good to see you, man. Bonsoir, monsieur. Hope you're well. Norse Viking Gaming, happy Wednesday. Stick Figures in the house for 40 months, man. AJH, man. Thank you very, very much indeed for all that support. 40 months, man. Crazy. Bellbro, a very happy Wednesday to you. He says, what's on the news this week, Merv? Did the Romans do anything for us this week? January 7th. I'm sure there's a bit of history there we can go digging for you, Bellbro. Culkin, good evening. Soaring AJ, very happy Wednesday to you. Lear, the man who gave out for not getting a salute, he now gets two. Good to see you, Lear. 98 Vulcan is in the house. It's starting to warm up, heading towards 40 Celsius by Saturday. Jesus. 40. Jesus. Not jealous at all. Commander Balosh is here. Good evening. North Coast Mike, welcome aboard. APU Inspector, halfway to the weekend. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. MacVision, welcome in. Two Dogs, greetings from Wisconsin. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Hermit Something is here. He says, a very good afternoon. He says, hello all from a snowy Baston. Hello and good evening and good afternoon. You're very welcome. Creo, hope you're well. Hope all is happening in the county of Mayo as expected. The news again. Indeed, the week flew by, didn't it? Jamamu is in the house. Corn Wolf, a very good evening to you. Hope you're well. Shuffle Shoes, shuffles in. AJH man. Goblin Zeus, tier 1 for 60 months in a row. Right. 5 years. I haven't aged. Well, I have. Have I? Be honest now, lads. You know, right. 60 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. I need to create new badges. Strap 21 is here. Nutty Slack, good evening. Idle Cutoff, Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. You're very welcome aboard. Mr. Minimite is here. Where are we at now? Apache's in the house. Spitfire RAF 100. Good to see you, man. PH Roy is here. Good evening, Murph and chat. Hope you're all doing well. And to you, Roy. How's she cutting, man? And thank you for your 10 streams in a row. Very kind of you, sir. Toto 2495. Happy midweek newsage. Right? Great to see you, man. Goose, thank you for 5 in a row. Up the yard. Wicked Lumberjacks is here. Stu Snape, a very good evening. Hope you're well. Crashing into me. I'm not sorry, or not sorry, I'm not, what's the word? I'm not bitter about that at all, yeah, right, so's your face. Alberto, good evening. Sumner is here. Howdy Murph and Fireflies from Naples, Florida, where it's 26 degrees. You big jammy jam. 26 is just nice, you know. The 30s are even nice, but 26 degrees now, that's just like, that's shorts and flip-flops kind of weather, you know what I mean? Lovely, absolutely lovely. Let me say, Paul GTA 90 in a row. Cheers, Paul. Thank you very much indeed. Chuck is in the house. Good evening. Who else come in the door here now? TG Sims, welcome aboard. Adam Controls, good to see you, Adam. Happy New Year. Come here. Are you going to stream again? Do you know, there's withdrawal symptoms happening. Malky Mac is here. Happy Wednesday. Viper Strike is in the house. Breaking news, Firefly Air will be the new airline sponsor of the heart of, who? Midlothian. Listen, don't mind that soccer rubbish, right? Good old-fashioned Gaelic Athletic Association, the GAA. Right. Start naming the teams out of that, Viper. It'll change your life. PQ, good evening. Zybok Doc is here calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Jace Ward is in the chat. Hello, Jace. DK Funfly. 30 to 40 centimetres of snow here in Denmark. What? Really? Dude, that's savage. Look after yourself on that. Sunjammer's here. He says, hi all. Now, do not forget Directive 1742. No member of the Firefly Air should ever report for active duty in a ginger toupee. Wait, what? Good to see you, Sunjammer. Going to stub your toe on that later. Yeah, I need to keep, it'd be dodge. We'll see what happens. Mr. Dan, good to see you. So in 3 hours, Murph will go, me toe. Right, you'll hear it. Yeah, was that the wind? No, it was Murph. Oh, I felt very technologically sound last night. For the first time, my house was a bit like the Enterprise. Woke up at about 2:30, and I heard a noise. And I did what every man would do. This is Two-Tone. There's a noise. Did you hear the noise? Oh, did you wake? Oh, Jay, I just woke up myself. Right? Thought I heard a bang. So, I told my smart technology, turn on the lights. And they all turn on, you see, and the cameras activate. The whole place lit up. It was brilliant. There was nothing, of course, in the house. It was the cat out for a wander. But, right, I'm just saying, we're ready. Well, we're not ready. I can scare them, maybe. Turn on the lights. I'll have to do, many follow-ups to that. But the first part is done. Brilliant. Voice activation. Fantastic. But anyway, just like that, clouds are parting and blue sky is peeping through, says Hermit. Metaphorically or in Boston? Viper, thank you for 4 in a row. Thank you very much. The best small-handed flight sim streamer. Jesus. Thanks very much. Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Where's this now? Full of man flu, says Alberto. You poor old divil. Do you have Lemsip where you live? Flying Trits, good evening. Hope you're well. One Foxy Bingo. Gav, good to see you. Who else come in? Muse Fan bursts in the door. In silence. And then he says how he is. He's mad jokes. It's good to see him, Muse. Welcome in, buddy. Easy now. Pieman Jim, thank you very much indeed for 6 months, man. Thank you very, very much. 6 months. Gibbo Ireland is in the chat. Good to see you, Gibbo. Welcome aboard. Lear says, January 7th news, Galileo's discovery of Jupiter's moons back in 1610. Europa, Ganymede and Callisto, and the first successful hot air balloon crossing of the English Channel by Blanchard and Jeffreys, 1785. Good man yourself, Lear. See, an important day. AIM in 1973, good to see you. Where is this now? Yorkshire, welcome in. Celestial Navigator, good to me hand. Good to see you, man. Happy New Year. Hope you're well. P.S. Mirandai, hello there. Welcome in. DCS Ducks. Good day, Ducks. Welcome aboard. Who else come in the door now? Where is this now? All good sound-wise. Excellent. In a Box Man is in a box, man. It's good to see you, buddy. Happy Wednesday. Stu Snape says, I thought you would have forgotten about my misdemeanor. Not at all. I'll remember that for life. In fact, I'm going to get it tattooed. Right. Proby Pete, good day from Arizona. Hello. Cool and rainy, he says. Well, hello from cooler and rainier Tipperary. You're very welcome. Willow, how much? Thank you very much indeed. 26 months. Thank you very, very much. He says, wouldn't have it any other way, Murph. Thanks so much for inspiring us all. Inspire, you say? Don't you mean torment? Thank you very, very much indeed, Willow. You're very kind, sir. Weebles, good evening. Evening, Murph and Fireflies. Happy Wednesday. Yes, that's it. Happy Wednesday. You're very welcome in. You found some Klingons. No. Where's this now? Hope Murph and the gang are grand. You too, Mr. Dan.
Ted, come on. You're going a bit mad there.
Whoa now. P.S. Mirandai says, almost all my wind control stuff has arrived. The joystick, the landing gear with the AGP and PAC, they're already here. Throttles are close. And now I will need to find somewhere to put all this stuff. Right? yeah, I'll buy that. And then you're like, where is this actually going to go? That happens all the time. All the time. Vivacious, welcome aboard. Hayden UK is here. Good to see you, Hayden. Hope you're well, buddy. Look into Home Assistant, Merv. Get that cat automated. Yeah. We can do some mad things with Home Assistant. I blamed Gibbo. Gibbo's like, Merv, do not use this. It's like, what is this, science? And then I have it set up. And I use it quite a bit now. I have it everywhere, And, well, it's just, it does its thing. It's all automated. I check in it every now and again, It's automated. It doesn't give up. It doesn't want breaks either. It's great. But yes, right. Let me see. Briggsy, welcome aboard. UTB is in the house. Good to see you. Simon Schweitzer, welcome aboard. Good day. Greetings from Switzerland. Hello from Tipperary. You're very welcome in. Roy says the DLSS 4.5 update is a very welcoming update. No more blurriness on your glass displays. We're going to be chatting about that tonight, Roy. But yes, old veteran is in the car headed home. You don't look any older. You just have less hair. Thanks, Scott. Very kind of you. Jesus. Listen, right, it is though, isn't it? I'm in denial, but sure, listen, I'd look odd as a bald. It wouldn't suit me, if we couldn't be doing that now. You'd scare people, But yes, Energizer, good evening. Jesus, is it that time of the week again? It is. The ghosting is pretty much gone with 4.5. Can you get that DLSS 4.5 for your hair, no? I'm asking for a friend, of course. Right, quick jump over to YouTube. Who do we have? Super Typhon is lurking. Sup? Good to see you, Super Ty. Cy Voltage, good evening. Dave Cleary, legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Welcome in. Monty 1964, very good evening to you. Black Sheep Gene, good day. That's all he said. He just said good day. I suspect some sort of conspiring. Perhaps, Gene. You're welcome in. Brabus is there as well on YouTube. Welcome in. Spath is here. Good evening. Kubi Montana. Very happy Wednesday. Mr. TPHI is in the chat. A very good day to you, sir. Hope you had a good day. Let me see now. Simon, greetings. Hope you're keeping well. Anna Crosses is here. FlightSim Max, good evening, Max. Noah is here. I signed up for SayIntentions last week, and to my surprise, Murphy started telling me about the history of the area I was flying in. I laughed out so loudly that it woke my wife up. Oops. Yeah, you want to be careful listening to that fella now, he leads you astray. But great news, man. Also, Simon, thank you very much indeed. Welcome to Flight Crew, buddy. Thank you for your support. Jean says, I won't be stalking you anymore. I've learned to lie. Off to confession for me. Brilliant. Where are we at now? Dennis C., a very good evening. What is the most exciting thing to look forward this year? Grand Theft Auto. Well, also, I suppose, we have the Bluebird 757. We have more aircraft, of course, announced and in development by Black Square. We will see updates to the core platform, which is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. If you're on PlayStation, you're going to be getting VR very, very soon, which, when you consider that, VR on console, that's mad. What else do we have? Phoenix are going to be having more aircraft. PMDG are going to have more aircraft. iniBuilds are working on an absolute plethora of different projects for this year as well. There's a lot to look forward to this year. And I think, lads, this is the year as well. When we look at our hardware, when we look at our PCs, this is the year of maintain, right? Probably not the year to be splashing out because prices have gone absolutely ridiculous. There's no real news outside of maybe AMD with any sort of new, very fast, affordable, and very, great value in terms of hardware. Plenty of peripherals, right? Things like little monitors or touch screens. So I think it's a year of kind of maintaining or even trying to enhance what you have to make it work a little bit better. That's the hope. And at the same time, the hope, of course, is that Asobo and Microsoft are able to make the sim better, more stable, more performance, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a great year for flight simming. I really think this is going to be a great year for flight simming. Do you know? Aaron is here. Good to see you. Newfoundland, welcome aboard. Mr. Dan is over there again. Good to see you again. Sir DLW, you're very welcome aboard. These are all very good for joining me here on this Wednesday, lads. On this Wednesday. Where are we at now? I would look odd as a bald man. You're almost there. Wait, you're just getting more aerodynamic. Yeah, let's go with that one. I like that, Mr. Minimite. Quokka is here. Good to see you. Eggshell Blonde Murph. Right? Brilliant. Miltex U2, hopefully. Oh yeah, Miltech are working on a lot of stuff. And of course, FS Reborn stuff, lads. The Phenom is due out this year. That's going to be a fantastic release. Do you know? Memphis Don, good evening. Hope you're well. Got friends. Wednesdays are always my favourite. Got friends. You're very welcome in. Can't wait what you lads are doing for this year. 2026. I'm telling you, we've heard it now. It's going to be a massive year for Got Friends. It just is. We've just said it. Right? Brilliant. You're very welcome in, lads. Right, we'll jump into it, will we? Are we all in now and settled? Do you have a cup of tea and stuff? Can't wait for the HDET update. Ooh, yes. And the 145. Yep, they're working on an Embraer 145. That's going to be interesting. But, right, we'll ramble over here, turn off that light, and press a button. Right. Now, you're very welcome in. Welcome to the place of the thing with the stuff. So I'm here sat in an Embraer 190. This is from FlightSim Studios. Now, we're not, this isn't like a brand new aircraft, but they have received a number of updates, and in particular, there's a new experimental branch, which primarily works on the CMS. Basically, the control management system, the flight management system, that's what the update they're aiming to do. And now, it's nowhere near ready yet. They've told us that. It's nowhere ready, but they're confident enough it's now at least ready to start showing it off. People can have a go of it and let them know where the issues are, right? Now, couple of things about FlightSim Studios and the E-Jets. First and foremost is, Bejani, there's buttons. Oh, God, friends, you're very good. Oh, is McManus gifting a tier 1 sub? Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, man. Thrust set simulations. Jesus, I nearly skipped them. Thrust set simulations. You're very welcome in, man. Good to see you. Right. Yeah, so a couple of things, right? The E-Jets from FlightSim Studios. These have had a fairly, colourful kind of a background in terms of when they first released to where we have them now in the present day. A couple of features have been missing, primarily when it comes to VNav, right? And certainly the earlier variants, there was all sorts of problems when it came to the autopilot, but it was released as work in progress, early access, insert appropriate line of it's nowhere near finished type of aircraft. Fair enough. We've now travelled on some amount of time, and FlightSim Studios were quite active at FS Weekend and FS Expo in 2025, and did a big spiel all about the aircraft and what they were doing in terms of the avionics, how things are going to work, and there's no doubt that it's been an absolute challenge to them. And you'd have to ask yourself, right, as a developer with an aircraft, what do you do? I mean, you're going to have to pour all your resources into something that maybe isn't that popular, but if you do nothing, it could be damaging, right? Or do you consider abandoning the project? Or do you just say, well, look, we'll do what we can when we can, and that's kind of it, right? It's not a great result for the consumer because, well, sure, we've bought it, and you're saying, well, I want it to work. The aircraft is perfectly flyable in a number of conditions. However, when you get into some of the automated stuff, that's where you start to see some of the struggles. Even today, I could not get these aircraft to work correctly. They are very sensitive to other add-ons that change kind of core variables within the sim. Two of which were Cowan Sim helicopters. So I uninstalled the Cowan Sim helicopters and then reinstalled, and then at least I had avionics working. But they're a little bit temperamental, and we can blame other developers, but I don't have these issues with other aircraft. So what do we do? Anyway, that's the first point. The second point is the roadmap for these aircraft. I don't know fully the history between X-Crafts, which are an X-Plane developer, and their E-Jet family, and FlightSim Studios. I know there was a sharing of the model, and whether that's still the case or that was a one-off, couldn't tell you. What I can tell you, the Embraers look very, very nice in FlightSim 2024, as they did in 2020. They are a very nice-looking aircraft. The modelling work here it's actually pretty nice, right? As you can see, there's plenty of details on it. There's decent sounds in it, and all the different views and whatnot. I mean, they're very pretty. That's a great start. Even going to the, inside into the cockpit, into the flight deck, there's plenty of stuff here to keep us kind of going. It's the systems is the primary update for this fleet. It's just the systems. And when we talk about systems, we are talking about the vertical profile or the vertical navigation system of the aircraft, right? So the question has to be, are they worth it, perhaps? Or is it something that, you're just looking forward to flying an Embraer in Microsoft Flight Sim? You haven't gone with this yet, should you? or should you avoid it like the plague, and, you know, just not bother your face? The other bit of news, of course, from A320 driver, and I wasn't aware of it, or FlightSim Studios, they have this content creator guideline thing. And, you know, they're publicly saying you can't talk anything bad, you can't criticize our products. It's a load of balls. I mean, I'll come out and say it. Like, that's a load of balls. Like, how I deal with add-ons, how I've always dealt with add-ons on developers. If I find something that's, like, not great or problematic or kind of not, you know, it's crap, right? I'll go back to them and say, hey, listen, I found this. Is this on a bug list? Or is this something you're going to deal with now or later? Or where are we at? You give them the chance to say, well, you know, yeah, we're aware of it. We're not going to fix it. Hence the price. All right, fair enough. Or, yeah, we're going to fix it. It's coming in a new update. If you bring something to their attention and then they ignore you, well, then you've every single right to go out and warn people in the community to say, hey, this is the story here. You can't be silenced or criticised for doing that. I mean, that's what you do. We're here to inform. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't last 5 minutes saying, this thing is the best thing since sliced bread, and then you buy it and you're flying and you're thinking, this thing is crap. So what are you going to think of me then? Do you know what I mean? So I just... Where's the world going, like? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't affect me. I mean, if I can't be honest about an add-on or add-ons or anything really, I'm not necessarily going to touch it then. You can't be honest about it. And like, I struggled with this a couple of years ago, really struggled with this because I was getting, I won't say I was under pressure, but like I was getting, you know, lots and lots of access to things, you know, because I always put a smiley face on, because that's me. I get excited when I see good things in the sim, right? And then like the first sign of kind of critique, and then suddenly they didn't really want to, here's more stuff. They're like, oh, Jesus, don't give it to him. There shouldn't be room for that. I mean, as flight sim enthusiasts, when products are released or if they're being developed, and if they are going to release them in early access, right? I mean, that has to be like a lot of trust has to go both ways when you release a product in early access. It just does. Because if you're going to say it's going to have this, 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 and this, you release it and it has nothing of it. Are you going to buy from that developer again? Probably not. Or you might even you'll steer completely clear from them. If you see that they are doing everything that they can and they're trying hard and it is getting there and you genuinely like the aircraft, well, sure, you've no bother then. Do you know? So anyway, that's the other bit of news surrounding FlightSim Studios. However, does it take away from what they've been working on with the Embraer, with the E-Jets? That's what we're going to be having a look at a little bit later on. All right. So, yeah, I just thought it was interesting. And I have to say, I don't watch an awful lot of A330's content. Some of it I do. He's great tutorials. But fair play to him for kind of, you know, ringing that one out. We've no agenda. Well, I've no agenda. Don't know about other content creators. I have no agenda. I mean, if I tell you, listen, I think this is really great and it turns out to be absolutely crap, I've lost you. You're going to say, I'm not listening to that Murphy fella. He's, you know, he's hasn't a clue what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? If I say something's good and you get it and it's good, well, that builds trust. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, where are we at? We're over here.
Hello there.
Pilot N.I. James, welcome aboard. Supposedly, they made a statement on the Discord about it. I didn't see it yet, excessively. But, yeah, I don't know. We shall see. So that's the aircraft. One of them we're going to be checking out in a little while. But before we do, we're going to ramble over to the news. That didn't move, look. Come here. Ah, brilliant. Holy tabs on the screen, Batman. And now I can't turn down my sim sounds. Hang on. We'll open the volume. Now, brilliant. So a big shout out to our friends for helping us source the news. Vasco over at MSFSaddons.com, to Callum and the lads at FS Elite, and to the guys over at Threshold as well. And that's where we get all our news for this evening. Right, for this evening. PMDG also did the same when the 737 came out. Did they? Jesus. A330 is one of the 3 reasons I won't be giving PMDG any more money. Ooh, interesting. Early access is for fixing problems. If you can't tell them that there's problems, why bother? Correct. Just looks badly on them, says Cornwolf, and then it makes you think, what are they trying to hide? Yeah. Stopped watching them a couple of years ago. Can't listen to crap like that. Yeah. Amen to that, right? Bring of Rain, good to see it. Good luck getting a Lineage. Xcraft already said they will never go to Microsoft Flight Sim. Bringer of Rain. Yeah, but it's funny because, I mean, the X-Craft model, if you like, is present in Microsoft Flight Sim with FlightSim Studios, you know? Godfriend says, don't miss the Microsoft Flight Sim add-ons news that came out 12 minutes ago. Jonks, I just have it here. Wait, do I? 12 minutes ago. I don't see it. There is brand new word here. Oh, is this it? Here it is. Hot off the press. Look at the top. Hot off the press. What did I say there? Did I put an ST at the end of it? Ah, Jesus. Right. Emerald Scenery Design have announced the Minimax 1500 or the dev's first aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim. Right? I need to edit that. Anyway, it's a scenario many creators face, but few discuss openly. After 14 years of developing scenery and a grueling 9-month push to update a back catalogue of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, Chris, or RotorNut44, from Emerald Scenery Design hit a wall. But rather than stepping away from development entirely, he found a new spark in a completely different discipline. Emerald Scenery Design have announced the Minimax 1500 or Sport, the studio's first aircraft project for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And while a scenery developer switching to aircraft is already a story, there's more to it behind the scenes. After all, this isn't a solo attempt to learn flight dynamics from scratch, as the project is being shepherded by key members of the Got Friends team. Ooh, I like this. According to a blog post released by the developer, the Minimax began as a bucket list item that seemed overwhelming until industry friends stepped in to help. The aircraft features 3D modelling and texturings by Mike Crode from Got Friends, a well-known name for his work on the Astro 1 and also the PZL Wilga. The flight model was penned by Tom Smitty from National eStall, hopefully assuring that the aircraft handles with specific characteristics expected of a high-lift, lightweight airframe. And then further support in coding, sound and debugging came from the wider Got Friends team, and even Hans Hartmann, author of the ATR and the Aerosoft CRJ. Ooh! The aircraft modelled is a US experimental amateur-built aircraft. Despite its appearance, the developer notes that the specific version modelled exceeds ultra-lightweight regulations by about 15 pounds. That's if you have dessert before your dinner, pushing it into the experimental category. It's powered by a Rotax 447 two-stroke engine, pushing out roughly 40 horsepower. There are lawnmowers with the same, right? While modern versions of the airframe often use different engines, Emerald chose the 447 specifically because they had access to high-quality data and sound recordings. We got some pictures of it here. Let's go in and have an old gawk. So it's a kit-built aircraft. And it's in the experimental phase. Oh, look at that. Wouldn't you be mad? Yeah, I'm just going out for a flight in this plane I built in the garage. Oh, what? Oh, yes. You'd have interesting hair after flying this, wouldn't you? It's very nice. I love this story, man. It's like, it's, you know, here's someone working in scenery development. They get tired of it. They do all the work. That, you know, everything's done. What'll I do now? I'll do aircraft, but sure, I haven't a clue. And then there are people in the community who help. There are other developers who help. That's a great story. It's a true backcountry machine that can take off in under 100 feet. And it can even land with just about 200 feet. The virtual recreation includes large 17-inch tires for soft field operations. The pilots should be wary of the lack of suspension. Emerald Scenery Design state that this will not be intended to be study level. It is far from hollow. The focus is on a fun and well-rounded experience that still offers mechanical consequence for poor management. Key features: engine realism, simulation of a two-stroke choke behavior, including engine flooding, also the potential for spark plug fouling, damage modelling, breakable propeller and engine damage that persists until reset, interactive elements, toggles for the prop spinner, tinted glass and removable pitot covers and wheel chocks, and headphone simulation, dynamic vibration effects and multiplayer smoke. For 2024 users, the aircraft takes advantage of the new native pre-flight system, allowing walk-around interactions with chocks and so on. This blueprint, we've seen this before by Got Friends. So this is the blueprint they're using as their clipboard effectively, and that's where we can change the prop spinner, the canopy, and we can also headphone simulation and so on. That's pretty cool. that got friends all over it, right? The Minimax is currently in late stages of beta testing, the developer targeting a release this month for both 2020 and 2024, and it's going to be priced at an accessible $14.99 US. Upon release, it'll be available via the Emerald Scenery Design website, Orbex, and the INSA marketplace for PC and Xbox. For those unsure about diving into a new developer's aircraft, Emerald plans to offer a free one-day rental on the 2024 marketplace, allowing pilots to test the two-stroke engine for themselves. Ooh, nice. Photos by Kev. Good to see you, Kev. Welcome in. Any recommendations for a business jet? We've many, Mauser. We've many. It does look fun, doesn't it? I can see it now. Murphy brakes to prop off during the... Right, that'll be me, yeah. I broke the plane. That's news hot off the press. Great off the press. Sound out, Murphy, will you? Brilliant. Moving on. CSS. Now, these lads have been busy. They've released a massive overhaul for the 737-5 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Commercial Simulation Studios, not to be confused with Captain Sim, CSS, they've closed out the year by releasing version 1.6.41 of the Boeing 737-500, an update the developer claims represents a night and day difference over previous iterations. This release feels like the second half of a strategic pivot that began in late November, as the team works to transition their classic fleet into Microsoft FlightSim 2024 era, while addressing long-standing community concerns regarding the platform. For months, the CSS 737 has been at the centre of a debate over the subscription-based pricing and experimental stability. Following the major announcement in November that introduced individual variant purchases and freighter variants, this year-end patch acts as the technical delivery for those promises, positioning the classic Boeing as a native contender in the new sim. Rather than simply patching the aircraft to run in FlightSim 24, the developer says they have implemented a native project structure. The change is aimed at utilising the simulator's new improved engine for better performance and graphics. However, the shift requires in-house cleaning phase for the community, and the developer notes that currently third-party liveries will need conversion over to the KTX2 format to function properly. The update also debuts a custom launcher redesigned from scratch. The tool is now the primary gateway for the aircraft, handling a revised licensing process that makes the update mandatory for all users. The developer says the new infrastructure is more intuitive and responds directly to previous feedback regarding the installation experience. Building on the foundation laid during November's shakeup, this new version introduces livery-specific engine ratings and winglet configurations. The aircraft now supports 3 distinct 737-5 profiles, 18,500, 20,000 and 20,000 with winglets. The developers say each variant features its own unique performance calculations, allowing pilots to experience the subtle differences in handling and climb performance across different airline configurations. The flight deck experience has also seen a systems level review. The developer saying entirely rewritten the speed brake and ground spoiler logic, while the parking brake now requires a specific sequence of pedal and lever interaction that mirrors that of the real-world aircraft. These refinements, alongside fixes for the VNAV, LNAV and autopilot, indicate the developer is prioritising accuracy to compete with the high-fidelity standards. Of course, the loudest voice in the room would be that of PMDG. I think it's important that we do have different options when it comes to Boeing. I mean, we're quite limited on the Boeing side of the house, aren't we? I mean, do you know what I mean? So it's good to see this here. The update appears to be the final milestone before they expand the family, with the 737-5 now stabilised. They're going to be moving towards the 737-3 and 4 variants, and updates due to release early this year. Offering standalone versions for $45 each, a new strategy significantly lowers the barrier to entry compared to the original $120 all in. So that's huge news there from CSS. Has anyone been flying this aircraft? The Joker laughing gas. Good to see you, bud. Reminds me of those magnificent men, right? Thank you for the last second recommendation, Murphy. We adore Rotonut and we are excited for the public to experience it. Nice. Absolutely. Absolutely. 45 each is too much, says CP. I don't know. I mean, classic aircraft or classic 737s, they are nice to fly. I have these. I haven't flown them in ages, so this is now something I need to kind of ramble back into, because I'm impressed. There's a lot of fixes here, right? A lot of fixes here. So yeah, we'll have to see how that gets on during the year. Who did I see? Did I see Kenko flying this last week? I need to check in to see, what his thoughts were. Be interesting. Does anyone have these? I haven't and still thought the PMDG required us to pay $30 for the 737. Yes. Didn't fly this machine yet. Maybe try it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I remember the what was it called? The IXEG over in X-Plane. That was a 737-400, I think. And we're trying to think, lads, what did ICE pilots buy? Is that a 737-2 or a 737-3? Still got it though. Right? Buy one for 45 or three for 120. The 300 was IXEG. Yeah. So that was a superb aircraft to fly. It had all its own nuances. Beautiful machine. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we get on. Right, moving on. The long wait for the Airbus A220. Synaptic focuses on VNAV and systems depth for 2026. The FlightSim community is familiar with long haul, but the Synaptic Simulations Airbus A220, well, it's testing even the most patient virtual pilots. While many have hoped to be flying this aircraft at the end of 2025, the team confirmed the project is officially moving into 2026. For those who have followed the project since the days as a freeware open source, the transition to a payware model under the iniBuilds umbrella, well, that was a significant shift. The latest update proves that the partnership is focused on deep level systems logic, with few other developers have attempted with the A220's unique Canadian DNA. The developers say that one of the most significant milestones achieved this year was the migration of the flight management system to a more robust and efficient framework. According to Synaptech, this new framework allows for tighter system coupling, intricate state logic, and also the fly-by-wire refinement. Now, iniBuilds actually had this with them at FlightSim Expo. You can actually sit down and give this an old blast. And I got to say, it handled really, really well. The A220, I mean, this is your direct competitor for your Embraer aircraft. Do you know what I mean? We'll have a quick gawk at the video here because this is a stunning machine, lads. It's gorgeous. I mean, when we saw this trailer and then we got to try out the machine at Expo, it's like, oh, this thing looks absolutely incredible. So yeah, the C-Series, that was originally what they were based off, wasn't it? But the roadmap as we move into 2026, the developer says the momentum is increasing. Test packages being sent to the beta team at a much higher rate. However, there are still a few major hurdles before the aircraft is ready for the public. The to-do list, well, they're still working on the LNAV and VNAV, performance parameters, and they also have a number of missing systems. Specifically, pressurization and the auto brakes are being worked on. The A220, a unique beast in the narrow body market. While it carries the Airbus name, the systems were rooted with Bombardier's C-Series philosophy, which uses very different logic than the A320. Airbus took over this project, you see. Anyway, by focusing on the emergent behavior modeling, where systems are built from individual components, including some 256 circuit breakers and nearly 1,000 electrical connections, Synaptic seem to be keen on positioning the aircraft as a competitor to high-fidelity productions such as PMDG and Phoenix. So it's good to know the project is very much alive. Very much alive. Do you know what I mean? We need to click into Gibbo stuff now in a moment as well. Hang on, move this down because I want to show you some cool stuff, right? And I mean Cool stuff. We'll get into that now in a second. Moving on. Bluebird Simulations, yes, the 757 that we're 4 years waiting on now. They've confirmed it's coming out in 2026, and they said, you know, we're going to release it before GTA. After a 2025 that saw Bluebird 757 reach critical milestones but ultimately missed the hangar doors for a release, the developer has officially marked 2026 as the year this high-fidelity project will be debuted and ready for flight. The developer says the team has made substantial progress over the last year, allowing them to confidently lock in the 2026 window for both 2020 and 2024. For those who have followed the project since 2022, the wait has been a masterclass in patience. Originally intended as a mid-tier offering, Bluebird famously pivoted mid-development to a high-fidelity simulation. The decision placed them in direct competition with the heavyweights such as PMDG and Phoenix, but it also extended the development timeline significantly. So, we've seen dozens of videos, we've seen hundreds of photos, and we've read so much information regarding the depth of simulation that we're going to have with the 757. We're still not there yet, and we still haven't actually had a chance to fly the aircraft. I mean, they brought it to Expo, whatever build it was running. We don't know what features were working or not. This is a highly anticipated aircraft. There's no doubt about it. But 4 years of hype. They've given themselves a massive challenge here to deliver, I think. But anyway, January update, a 10 to 20 minute deep dive video is scheduled for the end of this month, giving us a high level overview. Then following the January video, only one more major update is planned, the official release announcement, which the developer says will include an in-depth look at the aircraft's full feature set. Now, I'm not a psychic, but I would imagine we'll probably get the release date at a major Expo. I'm just saying, wouldn't it make a lot of sense? But anyway, while the 757 will be compatible with FlightSim 2024 on release, a native 2024 package is currently in development, and that'll be a free upgrade. So if you buy the aircraft for 2020, which will work in 2024, a native 2024 package will follow, and it'll be yours for free if you bought the 2020 version. Right. So they're planning this will retail at around $80 covering both the 200 and 300 passenger variants. Their commitment for the 757 won't end when the buy button goes live. They plan to continue adding features and updates for free well after the initial release. We'll have to wait and see. Right, we'll have to wait and see. Now, Carenado, there's a couple of new pictures here. That's why I wanted to have a look at it. They have kickstarted the new year. They've mentioned that they're going to be releasing the T-34B Mentor. And Carenado tend not to wait around too long. It's usually 2 to 3 weeks from announcement to when the aircraft is available. So, the T-34B Mentor, poised for imminent release on the platform. Carenado's dedication to migrating and updating its extensive catalogue to the 2024 ecosystem. But while the T-34B has been a staple in the lineup across previous sim generations, simmers will be keen to see if the aircraft improves in any way compared to the previous versions beyond a visual makeover. The developer shared a brief statement on social media to accompany the news. Carenado stated that they are ready to land our beloved T-34B in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Big Al, thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Legend, 21 months. You're very kind, sir. Historically, Carenado moves fairly quickly on this kind of stuff. I was looking at the pictures and I got to say, very pretty. And I'm trying to find its equivalent over this neck of the woods. And I'd have to say it's got to be the... it's somewhere between the... Was it the Grob? Is that the aircraft that the Air Cadets used to fly in the UK? It's bigger and faster than a Chipmunk. So I'd say it's closer to... well, maybe it's between a Chipmunk and a Grob, maybe. It's a very nice, pretty looking airplane, isn't it? Very pretty. It even looks a bit like that Piaggio. Was it the F7 Piaggio? Very nice. Preview images shared by the team highlighting the visual fidelity that we come to expect from Carenado. Whether or not now it has the systems, who knows? But yeah, pretty nice, man. Pretty nice. I'm looking forward to that. It's change of their usual kind of Cessna Piper. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens there. Grob shooter. Yeah. It looks a bit chippy. Yeah, correct, Memphiston. Yeah, 100%. Airplane Heaven, they've released a brand new aircraft today, the Boeing PA-26A for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Airplane Heaven officially brought a unique slice of aviation history to the sim with the P-Shooter, Boeing's P-26A. Known for being a bridge between two eras, the aircraft represents the moment when fighter design began to leave the biplane behind, even while clinging to a few old habits. And when you look at the aircraft, it's not impossible to picture this as a biplane based on the scale of everything else on the aircraft, right? The arrival of this aircraft is an interesting event for those who enjoy the golden age of flight. The P-Shooter was the first all-metal monoplane to enter service with the US Army Air Corps, but it famously retained fixed landing gear and external bracing wires, making it a fascinating hybrid of both old and new. I mean, this thing, when you consider the Hurricane, for example, the Hurricane started life as in that airframe started life as a biplane, and then they took it off. This, however, this was mad what they left on with this. The developers say that the model was built using factory drawings where possible to ensure an accurate representation. Besides, unlike some earlier vintage releases from the developer that were criticised for being overly simplistic, this version includes a more realistic engine start routine. According to Airplane Heaven, simmers will need to engage with the manual fuel pump to get to 600 horsepower Wasp engine up and running. Now, looking at some of the pictures here, it looks very, very nice. It looks very pretty. And I love the history. I mean, you're talking the release of this aircraft was, looking at it, I don't know the exact date, but I got to say mid-20s or late 20s, right? And it's you can kind of see that evolution of, where they're moving from conventional biplanes, tail dragger still, of course, even the cables, like the friggin' wing struts, right? It's a most unusual airplane. They've also included an optional modern GPS unit, a feature that many modern simmers should appreciate. The package comes with 4 liveries that highlight the Yellow Wings era of the 1930s, and they also have the American military aircraft are painted in bright, intricate colours, including schemes over the 94th and 95th Pursuit Squadrons, as well as the markings for the Chinese Nationalist Air Force and also the Philippine Army Air Corps. While it is a native 2020 aircraft, the developer states its compatibility with 2024. However, they noted that as the newer simulator matures, they will undertake reasonable efforts to maintain that compatibility rather than promising a native 2024 overhaul immediately. It's available for sale right now. You can pick it up over on the Airplane Heaven website for $21.99. First prototype flew in 1932. Okay. So they probably started designing it in the very late 1920s and then built it probably 1930, 31, and a prototype flew in 32. So it probably had a good 6 years of, 5 years of being, this is the direction we're going. Pretty cool looking though, isn't it? Moving on. NextGen Simulations have broken the silence with their Embraer 110 version 2 and the Saab updates. Now, this was actually a really nice plane when it came out, but the problem is NextGen never updated it. So a lot of us flocked and we bought it and we said, it's a lovely little plane, this old Embraer, the Bandeirante, right, the EMB 110, and but they never updated it. It showed a lot of promise. What are they talking about now? If you've been wondering what happened to NextGen Simulations, you're not alone. It's been over a year since we've heard any sort of significant news, leading many to fear the worst. However, just before the new year turned, NextGen surfaced to confirm that they are very much still operational. They brought a mixed bag of news, promising announcement for the EMB 110 Bandeirante, but also challenging setbacks regarding their upcoming Saab. The biggest headline is the announcement that the Bandeirante version 2, a native rebuild designed specifically for FlightSim 2024, is now coming to the sim. The visuals step up, 8K textures, 4K for the exterior, 8K in the interior. They're also taking advantage of the new sim's capabilities, such as dynamic passenger, cargo loads, animated seatbelts, and also the new windshield, micro scratches and wiper effects, and so on. System-wise, it looks like a solid upgrade is planned as well. The developer mentioning that the electrical system, hydraulic, fuel, and pneumatic systems are being updated to the new standards. The FB has also been rebuilt from scratch and it'll now support Navigraph charts, noise, SimBrief, noise, and a performance calculator, tools that have become essential for many of us. It's worth noting that while the developer is working on improved sounds, they have been transparent about not having access to a real Embraer 110. We'll have to wait and see. The biggest problem with this airplane, as it was in 2020, the sounds are rubbish. If there was a knack you can do, you can actually get in and override its sounds with that of the Beechcraft King Air. But you know, it's you were missing some sounds. The sounds are not great in this aircraft. The system sounds are quite good. The startup wasn't too bad, but idling and then full power, they're not great. It's not a nice experience sitting there with these sounds, unfortunately. Anyway, the release is currently targeted for January or February, and if you own the original version, expect an upgrade fee. The pricing hasn't been finalized yet. Don't know how I feel about that. Another facelift, and we're being like, add features, man. Add features. Putting Navigraph and SimBrief into an EFB, nah, that's not features, lads. That's just copy what, you know, Work and Title did. Do you know? Anyway, the Saab saga continues. For those waiting on the Saab 340 and the Saab 2000, well, the news is a little bit more complicated. NextGen confirmed that the development is still ongoing, but the project suffered a significant blow due to a hard drive crash that resulted in the loss of some development data. Despite the frustration, the developer is pushing forward. The project is particularly interesting because it places NextGen in direct competition with Carenado, whose Saab 340 is included in the base sim deluxe edition. NextGen seems undeterred, aiming to offer a deeper simulation for those who want more than the default experience. We don't have a firm release window yet for the Saabs, but it's good to know they haven't been abandoned. Interesting stuff. Anyone own the Banderante? I've flown it quite a bit. It is a nice aircraft, but an upgrade fee, and we still have like absolutely catastrophically bad sound. Like, for a developer to say they've no access to the aircraft, pick up the phone. Boris, how are you? No, you're Echo 19. How are you? Listen, you wouldn't by any chance be out. Like, that's how it's done. Do you know? It's like, you don't need, like, developers don't necessarily need to have access to these sounds. Get the sound lads to do it. You know? You know what I mean? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That's my thought process. But good news, it's getting an update. Now, FlightSim Studios, in which we're covering tonight, they have released the 727-100 variant. They've just released this for 2020 and 2024. The 727-1, the original shorter fuselage variant of Boeing's 727 Trijet, an aircraft that played a major role in shaping short and medium haul travel from the 1960s onwards. The 727-1 first entered service all the way back in 1964 with Eastern Airlines and quickly became a workhorse for carriers across North America, Europe, and beyond. FlightSim Studios' Boeing 727-100 package features the standard passenger model, dedicated freighter, and the upgraded Super 27-100 passenger variant also. It comes with all the features of the previous freighter, passenger, and Super 27. It's also a complete package. One product, one purchase with no separate package needed. You can purchase this aircraft right now over on Contrail, priced at £57.43. That's a $60-odd aircraft. If you own the FlightSim Studios 727-2, you're entitled to a discount of 20% off. Fair enough. 20% off. I will say the Boeing 727 from FlightSim Studios is a very nice aircraft. They did a great job of this. But I'm still waiting and holding out for the dream team of FS Reborn and SWS to bring us our own. Do you know? They're working on that. But it's good to see this. So all the features are there. 3 included variants: the passenger, the freighter, and the Super 27. Native in 2024, and it's compatible with native in 2020 and compatible in 2024. And number of liveries included. That's pretty cool, actually. Detailed interior flight dynamics created by a real pilot, numerous data references, comprehensive systems, EFB has been included, sound set, realistic recreation of the JT8Ds and 217 sound characteristics, cabin announcements and passenger conversations, an easy entry menu. Interesting. Briggsy, good to see you. Have you tried the DLSS 4.5 Super Revolution beta fully? I haven't. No, I haven't. We have the plane in a museum near me, and I'm a sound person. Where do I fill the papers? There you go. Energizer, I always said you were sound. Moving on, Orbex, they're previewing, or Orbex previews upcoming St. Simons Island Airport, Kilo Sierra Sierra, India, from Microsoft Flight Sim. The US state of Georgia, developed by Andreas Hegge, the independent developer behind Harvey Field S43 and also Monroe, Diamond Point, among others. Orbex say that KSSI has been designed specifically to leverage the advanced capabilities of Flight Sim 2024, and it will be the most authentic rendition of the airport ever created. St. Simons Island Airport at McKinnon Field is located on St. Simons Island in Georgia. The island, the largest of the Golden Isles, a cluster of barrier islands along Georgia's southern coastline, a region known for its mix of southern hospitality, upscale resort culture, and unique maritime ecology. During World War II, the Naval Air Station St. Simons Island played a crucial role in national defence, serving as a base for the Civil Air Patrol to hunt U-boats off the Atlantic coast. Interesting. In 1947, the Naval Air Station was decommissioned and the airport was handed over for public use. It doesn't have any commercial airline services, but it does serve as the front door to the Golden Isles for general aviation, luxury tourism, and business travel, contributing over 20 million annually to the local economy. The airport has 2 active runways, which are sizable enough, 5,800 feet, and several non-precision approaches provide all-weather access. Business jet and turboprops, light twins, piston singles, and even Coast Guard and Navy helicopters are frequent visitors. Gotta say, the pictures look very nice, doesn't it? McKinnon St. Simons. I'm looking forward to seeing this, lads. This looks nice. I knew nothing of this airport. So I think this is definitely one we're going to have to try out. Oh, jeez, it looks nice. It's cool seeing some of these off the beaten track airports, specifically for business jets. Do you know what I mean? Got some nice lighting there. Look at this. They're in the pool. Looking forward to this. So what do we have here? No release date yet. No release date yet or a price, but pronounced Siemens. Siemens as in the electrical company. St. Simons. Is that it? Then the large naval air station just down the road at Glencoe is in use. Mr. GPHI, put soap in your mouth. If you put half the passion into the 727 that he's doing into the Phenom, it's going to be amazing. It just is. It just is. Right, so stop it, yeah. Jesus puts his cold shower. iniBuilds, a quick update here, lads. If you have London Gatwick for Flight Sim 2024 from iniBuilds, there was a little update posted just today, version 1.02. They've added markings to equipment storage, flickering dirt on roofs, the Boeing logo removed from the hangar, concrete tiles edges have been fixed, short jetways have been replaced, minor ground service equipment adjustments, and minor marking. It's just a quick small update from iniBuilds, but just to let you know, London Gatwick is just after being updated. If you have it, head on into the Ini Manager, and that's where you can grab the update from iniBuilds. So do be sure to grab it. Vertical Sim, they have revived their cancelled Fort Lauderdale project for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Flight Sim community often sees ambitious projects quietly fade away, but it's rare for a cancelled major hub to make a sudden return from development. In an announcement that significantly changes the scenery landscape for Florida flyers, Vertical Sim have revealed their rendition of Fort Lauderdale is back on active development in 2026. The announcement marks a sharp turn for the developer's stance in 2025, when the project was shelved. At the time, the cancellation left an important gap in high-fidelity scenery for the region, forcing pilots to rely on older solutions or default scenery for one of the busiest low-cost carrier hubs in the United States. The confirmation came via end-of-year statement, where the developer detailed a roadmap focusing on consistency and quality. And while the text itself referred to the rerun of a previously cancelled destination, the accompanying wireframe image shown below leaves no room for ambiguity. It is that of Fort Lauderdale. I would love to see a handful more airports in the Florida region as well. I'd love to see Miami Executive, and I would love to see Opa-lawka, you know. But this is great news. I mean, Vertical Sim already do some gorgeous sceneries, you know. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to this one. So good to know there is a Fort Lauderdale scenery back in development. This one from Vertical Sim. So good news there. Now this gets interesting. We had this Can anyone remember the airport that it was like a triple threat match? 3 scenery developers released the same scenery within a few days of each other. Can anyone remember where that was? Because it's all happening again. There are 3 developers now competing for Paris, Charles de Gaulle in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nick, yeah, it was. Good man, Nick. For years, the flight sim community have asked the same question, whenever a major European hub was released, what about Charles de Gaulle? It's been one of the few glaring gaps in the high-fidelity scenery map for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, as we settle into 2026, well, the situation is flipped completely. We've gone from having 0 contenders to 3. As Azure Sim officially throwing the name in the hat alongside Aerosoft and Pilot Experience Sim. The breakdown of the Paris race. A new challenger is Azure Sim, catalyst for the latest round. These guys brought us airports such as Baku and also Rida, and developer released plans to tackle Paris Charles de Gaulle on their lineup. Pilot Experience Sim, they've been testing the project for the better part of a year, and their version will feature a custom parallax library to simulate window depth without the performance costs of fully modeled interiors. And then, of course, Aerosoft, which we know, they've been working hard on this as well. So we have 3 developers all aiming to get us Paris Charles de Gaulle, and I'm looking forward to it because it is missing. Do you know, I know there's a decent offering over in FlightSim.to, but it's so strange to have, like, you know, a massive European capital hub airport not included in the sim. It's nuts, right? So yeah, interesting stuff. Was it KSFO? No, it was Roy, it was Nook in Greenland. You know, Briggsy says, why not join up and work together? I don't know. Good question, Briggsy. Don't know. A lot of the time, developers don't really know what other developers are doing until they announce it. And then you have some developers announcing a project because they want to do it in a couple of years and they just get wind, you know, we're going to tell everyone we're doing it so Johnny down the road won't do it. That goes on as well. It's a competitive space, especially scenery. I mean, at the end of the day, lads, what makes you want to buy a scenery? If you want your, you know, if it's a scenery or an airport in your location that you frequent or that you know or that you'd like to visit, yeah, you're an easy customer. But for anyone else who's like, how do you draw that lot in to buy your scenery? That's where it gets a little bit tricky, you see? I think scenery developers, especially in 2026 moving forward, need to start thinking outside of the box here. It's all well and good giving us an accurate scenery. You need to add features or, you know, it outperforms or it does something. But in order to justify not only just another scenery, but also the rising cost of sceneries, I would like to see more being added to sceneries. Maybe there's something there in terms of more tangible things. Maybe there's sounds put in. Maybe there's, I don't know, integration with missions perhaps, or there's activities. I don't know what to do, but it has to be just more than the scenery, do you know? Like we're seeing it more and more. We're seeing a lot of developers now, they'll include the GSX profiles, they'll give you some of the flight routes, provide a bit of history about it, even starts, you know, including some of the surrounding areas and waypoints. I think that's the direction it needs to get, do you know? FS Academy. Now, I'm not sure if this news is old news, so I'm going to pretend it is new news. But I tried to have a look at it there and it's not available. But don't worry too much. FS Academy, if you haven't heard of these guys before, they did announce a 30% reduction on their packages. And if it's there, great. But if it's not, you know, let's not worry about it. However, if you've never used or looked at something like FS Academy, it's actually a very, very good program developed by a real-world pilot, and he's made a number of different programs, such as VF4, IF4, jetliner stuff, Navigator, where you go IF4, VF4, Interceptor, and Voyager, bush trips, and all the rest. Basically, they are somewhat linear missions or activities that you can do in your flight sim, but it comes with a fairly good ground school document, and it's a way of learning complex flying, right? Anything from, you know, the basics of, you know, the traffic pattern or circuits, all the way to shooting an ILS approach. And it's a step-by-step progressive kind of thing, right? So if you've never checked it out before, have a look into FS Academy. It is very, very good. They have some serious competition now with Navigraph Academy. You know, let's see what happens. Not Azure Sim, the Pilot Experience Sim. Heard little about this one. Pretty good. Oslo was kind of the same with 2 versions within a week. Stephen, it was Oslo actually. Yeah. Pretty good. Clem, hope you're well, buddy. You're very welcome in. 29 Palms shop closing by 31st of March. 29 Palms Scenery Design will be closing down permanently after this date. The store will no longer be accessible. All current products offered on the store for FlightSim X and P3D have reached their end of life cycle, meaning that there will be no new updates, fixes, or additional releases. And after the 31st of March 2026, the store will no longer be accessible and customer accounts will be deactivated. No further downloads or purchase products will be possible. To gain access and download your 29 Palm Scenery Design products, you have to do so before the 31st of March. You're still able to buy the scenery products from stores like Contrail, Aerosoft and SimMarket, but they are just closing down their store. 29 Palm Scenery Design, they're just closing their shop. Fornax, good to see you. Pretty sure I had the A320 learning stuff from FS Academy. It was great as it integrated into the sim. Yeah, 100%. Clayton, good to see you. Happy New Year, bud. Now, we move on to something head-scratching, right? Because we're talking, of course, about NVIDIA's new DLSS 4.5. And there's all sorts of news here from NVIDIA. So I did a bit of time looking into it. I haven't tried it yet, only because I haven't tried it yet. But effectively, NVIDIA have launched their updated DLSS 4.5. There's a couple of ways in which you can activate this, but effectively what it is, it uses DLSS to upscale your images. So it's a way of, it's just a way of rendering things in front of you. We typically use TAA because, well, that's native in the sim and it tends to be sharper. You know, what we have here now from NVIDIA cards, GeForce cards, we can use DLSS, and we've been using DLSS for well, a good while. We had DLSS 2, and we had DLSS 3, and the issue with those were, while they did give us that little bit of performance, it became very difficult to read glass cockpits. The instruments were very difficult to read because they just blur, and you had like these ghosting effects when the aircraft moves and all this kind of stuff. So the only way to get around that is use, you know, TAA or DLAA or one of those. However, there has been an update, a considerable one, and this is an update that will work on, well, most cards. There is more news coming from NVIDIA, which is going to be happening a little later on this year, whereby they're going to bring the frame generation from, I think it's 4 times up to 6 times, which is brilliant. Muse. So yeah, it is interesting stuff. But anyway, one of the universal truth in flight, if there is one universal truth in flight sim, it's that we never satisfied with our frame rates. Just as we get comfortable with the magic of DLSS 4, the goalposts are now moving again. Because DLSS 4.5 introduces a suite of new features that promise to smooth out the skies, but the best toys are predictably locked behind the newest hardware. The 6-time multi-frame generation, this is locked specifically to RTX 50 series cards. Ranger Green, good to see you, man. Thank you so very much indeed. 14 months, buddy. Cheers. And that's coming out later in the year, so let's not worry about it. It basically, you know, the dynamic mode automatically adjusts the frame rate multiplier. The 4.5 DLSS, which is available now, right? Basically, it's the AI written code that upscales your image. That's basically what it is, right? And we saw a huge update with 4.0. 4.5 is now trying to work on making things that little bit crisper, no longer blurry, and we should be getting slightly better performance out of our hardware as well. There is a catch, of course, that's with the 50 series cards, but with the other stuff, while the 6-time frame gen grabs the headlines, the most significant news for us is the updated 2nd generation transformer model for super resolution. And this is where it comes with their AI transformer model, right? Unlike frame gen, this update is coming to all RTX GPUs, the 20, 30, 40, and indeed 50 series cards, right? Murph, you need to update your July driver. You also need the beta of the NVIDIA experience. Question, Roy. I'm fairly certain I'm not certain. I need clarification. I know I need to update the app and put it into beta mode. Must I also update the drivers? Because my understanding was I didn't have to update the driver. I can just update either the DLSS swapper or the NVIDIA app. Yes, so I have to update my drivers. Right. Anyway, this matters because the current iteration of DLSS in Microsoft Flight Sim has a ghosting problem, which affects pretty much everyone, regardless of what they fly. We're all familiar with the frustration of looking at the PFD during takeoff, only to see the speed and altitude tapes turn into an unreadable smear. But the issue extends beyond the cockpit. Propeller discs frequent exhibit weird trailing artifacts, and low altitude high-speed passes over scenery can often result in a muddy blur rather than crisp terrain, right? Ranger Green, thank you very much indeed. A pint shall be grabbed. Jesus, 1,000 bits. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Cheers. I don't use the app. I just updated my driver and used DLSS swapper. Okay. You can also roll back. Good point. Need to update app to get access to drivers. Stay away from the DLSS swapper is a recommendation from Gibbo. Video watch from Sing Hanger says to update the drivers. Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing for me. I think my drivers have been running quite smooth, you know. For the 50 series cards, the update is a big update. Is that the one coming later in the year, Roy? Or is that with this? Because it'd be interesting. Just using the beta version of the NVIDIA app seems much better than using DLSS swapper, says Excessively Scalty. Ooh, okay. Interesting. To give you an idea of what we're looking at, you can see in both pictures here, I played this twice. DLSS 4 is on the left, 4.5 is on the right, and you should be able to see the difference of clarity between both. Especially when we pause things, right? So you can kind of see, even here you can see, look how smudged the all is all shagged. On the right hand side is a little bit better. You know what I mean? Stay away from the DLSS swapper. Okay, sweet. How to use slew mode in 2024 after installing Chase Plane? Same button, I think. Should be the same one. Isn't the NVIDIA app messing up Microsoft Flight Sim? It can do. But I've been using the NVIDIA app now. I've always never used the NVIDIA app. I'm using it. I've no real issues. But then again, the drivers I'm running are from June or July of last year, you know. This one, Simhanger has a good video explaining it. He also has the 5090. Okay. I'll look into it, right? I mean, if you're not using DLSS, this has no effect on you, right? If you're using like TAA and so on. NVIDIA explicitly state that the new AI model shifts training from logarithmic space to linear space. In plain English, it means AI is no longer compressing lighting data to hide flickering. It can now handle high contrast, fast-moving elements like a bright white hood against a dark ground or a spinning propeller blade. If these claims hold up in the sim, we might finally be able to use DLSS in performance mode without sacrificing the legibility of our avionics for crispiness. Rangers running the older drivers as well? Yeah, we'll have to look at it. There's a bit of a performance hit for the 40 and 50 series cards, but the performance hit is much larger for the 20 and 30 series cards. Okay. I start my sim in the NVIDIA... does it make it any difference? Briggsy, what you mean? The rollout strategy is split between the software and hardware. Available now, the second gen transformer model, that's what we can grab today. It's on the beta version of the app and it's due to roll out on the 19th or the 17th of January. And then coming in the spring of this year, the 6-time dynamic multi-frame gen will launch exclusively for the RTX 50s, right? You launch the sim... Wait now. Briggsy, come back to us a bit now. I start my sim in the NVIDIA app. Does it make any difference? No, it shouldn't. Are you starting in the NVIDIA app? No, it shouldn't make any difference. Shouldn't do. Just let one app optimize settings. Yeah. Still ghosting with DLS 4.5. Yeah. That's what I've heard so far. Shoot Amanda says, Murph, which drivers are you running? I'm considering rolling back to 566.36. I'll tell you now. I will tell you now what I am running. If I go to drivers, I'm 576.88. These drivers for me across all flight sims have been bulletproof, but I'm on a 5090, so your mileage may vary. You know what I mean? Aston says, I wish they would fix the sodding NVIDIA filters. Reshade, man. Forget your filters. They're too buggy. Reshade. So he launches the sim from the NVIDIA app. Yeah. But no, it doesn't. You put your setting, you put your graphics options in the NVIDIA app. It's saved into the config file. That's it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you launch the app from. It saved the config file. You know. I thought Reshade caused a massive performance hit. No, it can do if you configure it wrong. It can do, but I've been using it for well over a year. So I suppose, lads, this is going to be a real case of see how you go. See how you go with this, right? I mean, if you're on the older cards, a 20 series or a 30 series, it's well worth a bash, right? Well worth a bash. In addition to this, I'm going to share something else with you that I've tried and I've been testing for the last week or so, and I have seen an increase in stability and performance with the simulator. This may not work for everyone, so just remember that, right? But I'll talk to you about it. Yeah, Reshade if you got... Oh yeah, Reshade or Rex Atmos. You can give that a go as well. Yeah. Have a listen to this. So you might already know, about this. Core isolation. Have you ever heard about core isolation? What is he talking about now? Core isolation. It's a feature of Windows. Have you ever heard about it? So core isolation is a Windows security feature. It's belonged to memory integrity. It separates the system processes using virtualization, but it can also sometimes reduce FPS in CPU-intensive games. One of them being FlightSim 2024, especially on some older hardware. Now, many users disable it via Windows settings for a potential performance boost, although it does offer valuable malware protection. So the trade-off is between maximum security and maximum FPS, right? So virtual-based security, VBS, core isolation uses hypervisor protected code integrity, or HVCI, to create a secure isolated memory region. Basically, the computer is making sure that nothing gets into any of the critical components of the operating system and drivers, right? But by doing so, it's using Microsoft's kind of weird way of doing it. How it affects Microsoft Flight Sim. The virtualization process adds to the overhead, forcing the CPU to work harder in order to manage the separate environments which can impact performance. This leads to main thread bottlenecking. Disabling it can reduce the load on the CPU main thread, potentially leading to smoother frame rates with less stutters. Now, try this at your own risk. I have to recommend the following, right? If you're going to turn off your core isolation, don't be browsing the internet or any of that jazz, right? Test this as you're just doing your flight sim. How you get into it, if you hit the Windows key on your computer and just type in core, up will come a little gadget that says core isolation, right? And that'll open up Windows, and you come over here to this gadget and see this memory integrity, just click that to off. Now it's all, oh Jesus, nothing's going to happen. You'll be grand. Just don't be browsing the internet or, dodgy sites, right? News and Mrs. GPHI. Try it and see how you get on with your sim. I've been messing around with this for about a week. I thought it was a placebo. It's one of these things like, change your power output or change this. I've been trying this and it actually has been working a little bit better. I think I'd rather have that on. No, like it's look it. For your sim, I mean, you can easily write a little, a bin file, projecting there, Murph, are you? You can have a little file there that can on off this if you want. I would say when you go to launch your flight sim, have this off just to see, right? You can always turn it back on again, right? But I've seen the difference. It's working on my system. I have seen a reduction of stutters and also better CPU efficiency with this turned off during my flight simming, right? So it's worth a shot. It does need a restart you have to restart it. So you turn it off, restart your PC, give it a blast, and let me know how you get on, right? Roy says the NVMe tweak is the biggest tweak for 2026. Tested today again. You got a gain of 40 to 50% on read and write speeds. What? Roy, that was only showing literally 1 or 2%. At least on paper. So what you're telling me now, the gadget's absolutely savage, is it? Hang on a second. Here's another one we're doing. So Roy was chatting to me about this the other day, right? And it is a risky Windows registry tweak can make your SSD almost twice as fast. I got a load of this now, right? Regardless, Microsoft's new announcement seems to be a sign of good news. The Windows Server 2025 edition now has native NVMe support, significantly speeding up data transfers. The same feature is also hiding in Windows 11, but the tweak comes with some serious caveats. Windows is slowing down your SSD by default. A legacy storage setting quietly holds modern NVMe drives back. For over a decade, Microsoft have been treating your blazing fast NVMe SSDs like their old school hard drives. And every time your system talks to the drive, it goes through a translation layer that converts NVMe commands into SCSI, Small Computer System Interface, a protocol dating back all the way to the 1980s. Windows 11 settings may kill your SSD lifespan, but the operating system itself is slowing it down by default. Microsoft claimed that enabling native NVMe support in Windows Server 2025 delivers up to 80% more input-output operations per second, a metric that measures how many data reads or writes a storage device can perform in 1 second. It also results in 45% fewer CPU cycles per on-off operation compared to the old school translation approach. You can boost your SSD's performance by nearly twice as much using a feature compared to the existing SCSI. The registry tweak, so you go into your reg edit to do a thing, right? Roy's been testing it and he's getting massive performance with this, but here's the warning. This tweak can break your system if you get it wrong. Boot failures, data loss, and unusable backups. Before you rush to the registry editor to make most out of your NVMe, keep in mind that Microsoft hasn't enabled this feature on consumer Windows for good reason. The ecosystem isn't ready yet. For starters, safe mode breaks completely. NVMe support causes safe mode to fail because it can't load the necessary drives during boot. A workaround exists that involves manually adding registry keys to enable the NVMe disk class for safe mode, but this adds another layer of complexity. Since the change affects disk's IDs, backup software can stop functioning too. When Windows switches from other adapters to the native drive, it can change your disk unique identifier. It means that your backup programs would be effectively, shagged. Pretty much shagged, right? So I'm not saying you should try this, just be aware of it, right? But Roy has been testing it and he's seeing considerable results. Now, if we're talking about this now, I wouldn't be overly worried, right? Maybe this isn't something you want to try today. The good news is, if this is working, it's only a matter of time before Windows will start working or releasing this, right? Because on the server, this is the big news here, look. Enabling this on the Windows Server Edition delivers up to 80% more input and output operations per second. It also results in 45% fewer CPU cycles. But yeah, maybe hold off from testing that if you're anyway squeamish about it. But I think give it a couple of weeks, months, a couple of Windows updates. Maybe this is something we keep an eye on. Eventually it will become available for the consumer version. I agree. Roy says, check it at your own risk. I took the risk and I'm happy. Of course, I made a registry backup. Yeah. Interesting stuff. And Roy, thanks for sharing that. Looking at it, it was like, holy crap, how is this going to work? You know what I mean? But there, as I said, couple of things. Yes, DLSS 4.5, the core isolation, that's harmless so far as give it a try with your flight sim. See, does it make a difference? Core isolation, right? And then if you want to go absolutely roll up the sleeves, have a look at the NVMe tweak. But yeah, very much, if you're not 100% comfortable with what you're doing, just don't go near it. Go off and watch Glen Rowe or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, the before and after of the speeds. That's what I was confused about, Roy. Because when I was looking at the before and after, I was saying, oh wait, hang on. No, I was going for the... Hang on now, I'll look at the other ones. This is where I got lost. So that's with it. It's up at 10,400, and that's without it. So there is a sizable increase. Look at the write speed: 164 versus 145, 3,100 versus 2,900, 4,100 versus 35. Yeah. So like, there's a lot of Jesus. There's a lot of stuff going on there. We'll have to wait and see. I'd be very nervous personally doing that, because if it breaks, I'm completely shagged. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you have an old PC, maybe it's worth a trot with an NVMe in it. Do you know? Anyway, we move on. Shameless plug, but I thought it sparked a great conversation. And shout out to Vasco for covering the story. Put out a YouTube video there this week about features we'd like to see coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I put out a list of them, and it's been, a lot of people have responded with the videos. It's gas, right? I've done a quick kind of a survey to see what most people are looking for, what they would love to see in 2026. And stability, yes, of course, you know, better performance, of course. But the vast majority, and it's no surprise, it's pointing at multiplayer features, model matching, better servers, and also shared cockpit. They're the main ones, right? So, I don't know what more we can do. Come on, we're going to France. We're going to head down to that place where they're located, down to Asobo and ramble in, right? What's it called? Where is it? The wine region there below. Bordeaux. We're going to Bordeaux, right? We're going to Bordeaux. But I thought it was interesting to especially reading some of the replies. Everyone wants a bit of everything, but the vast majority are all talking the same things. Yes, we want performance. Yes, we want stability. But there was a lot when it came to shared cockpit and better multiplayer, model matching and all that. Pretty cool. Right, nearly there now. Flight to High have released Birmingham Shuttlesworth for X-Plane 11 and 12, bringing Alabama's primary commercial airport into the platform. Located just northwest of downtown Birmingham, Shuttlesworth International Airport serves as a mix of airline and cargo, along with some general aviation traffic, making it a versatile place for regional and domestic operations. Some screenshots here. Looks pretty. Can't say I've been to the region before, but it looks nice. In the world of X-Plane, the scenery features custom model terminals, realistic PBR across the buildings and ground surfaces, hand-placed night lighting, and accurately reproduced airfield layout, all tuned to remain performance-friendly. Additional touches include modelled terminal interiors, custom mesh, detailed vegetation, 3D grass, and a faithfully recreated area of the Alabama Air National Guard. That's pretty cool to see. It's available now for $16.99 over on the Xplane.org store. You can also pick it up over on Patreon. So X-Plane pilots rejoice. Sticking with X-Plane, we're going to be talking about the Flight Factor 777. Version 2 got a new update, and version 2.3.8 has now been released for X-Plane 11 and 12. The biggest change in this one is the configurable ignition disabling by engine type, con ignition, with a dedicated option now available for the GE90 powered variants, and a fix for cases where the terrain weather outputs fail to display despite the master brightness being done. On the system side, hydraulic behavior has been corrected, and fluid consumption and maintenance or refilling actions occurring. A sim crash related to repeatedly tapping reset engines has also been fixed, and we can see the change log there now. So if you do have the Flight Factor 777 in X-Plane, which is an exceptionally good 777, exceptional, does an update for it there now. All right. Now, we were talking about this briefly. We're going to be checking these out next week. The Moza MRP rudder pedals. Plenty of videos of them online there now. So we're going to show these off on our stream next week, next Wednesday. So if you do have any questions, make sure you keep them until then. I'll be, giving a full overview on what I think of this, of these rudder pedals from Moza. The brand new shampoo. And yeah, looking forward to show these off. They're here behind me. I remind me not to trip over them. So that's the story there. Now we need to ramble over to FlightSimTees.com. And a big massive shout out to Gibbo Ireland for this, because Gibbo has given us an L 10% discount, which is brilliant. But I wanted to show you some of the new things that he's made available, because it's customizable apparel, which I think this is absolutely deadly. Have a look at this one, right? So you can choose My Airports. It's a customizable option when it comes to designing your own t-shirt. Whether you grease the landings at Dublin, taxi through Heathrow, line up at JFK or depart LAX, or even chase approaches into Amsterdam, the t-shirt is made for those who know airports by heart. What we can do with this, you can choose any ICAO code for any field in the world, and FlightSimTees.com will turn your favourite airport into a wearable tribute. No two shirts will ever be the same. And check it out, look. So you can see, right, this one, for example, Dublin Airport, you get a lot long of it, its location, and you get this cool map of the airport itself. And what I love about this can be for any airport, within reason, unless, of course, there isn't a 3D grid of it, in which they'll tell you, Gibbo, I found the best one. Ah, Jesus, why didn't I tell you? Gibbo, can you do one for 1 kilo? It's a place. I'm telling you, it exists. 1 kilo. Yankee Alpha November kilo. Do it. Brilliant. It's going to be class. Why didn't I think of that earlier? But anyway, these are class, aren't they? Any design you want in terms of the airport, right? So there's a few here to help you choose. Maybe you know someone in an area. Hey, I got your shirt. Great presents for, you know, people visiting you maybe, or you visiting other places. Or maybe you just want to rock your local airport when you go traveling. Very, very nice indeed. But that's not all. There's others, right? We talk about customization. Here's one of a Spitfire with custom initials, right? So you know on the Spitfire, you have the squadron number and all the jazz. Well, now you can put in your initials, or perhaps your loved ones' initials for brownie points, and you can put them onto the fuselage of the aircraft, and FlightSim Tees will do that and horse it on out. Isn't that pretty cool? Isn't that deadly? Love that, right? It's brilliant, and it's for the Spitfire. I'm sure there's going to be more coming soon, but I just love this idea. Absolutely brilliant. Mrs. TVHI, Jesus. Clayton, not yet, no. 1 kilo sounds like something, yeah, a little bit, yeah. That's pretty cool though, isn't it? I'm loving these. It's a great idea, you know. Loving it. Yeah, but I don't know where you find the models from. They always, you know what I mean? They're always kind of flat out, aren't they? There's Cedric, for example. And I was only going to have an old chat with Cornelius there. You know, he's a man wearing a hat. Right? Brilliant. But do check out the website, FlightSimTees.com. Give us doing some deadly stuff here, lads. There's always new items being added. And there's plenty of options there, and I love the customizable stuff. I think this is brilliant. I did spot the TTM. I did. I'm looking at TTM. It's like, oh, he's very good. Who's Chom? His name is Chom. Right? I did notice it though, Gibber. You're very good. Buy it, Murph. Yeah, I should buy that. Yes, I should buy that. But check it out, lads, and have fun with it. You know, I mean, like, put it this way, right? There will be a prize. I don't know what it is yet, but there's going to be a prize for someone who buys one of these shirts and puts an interesting ICAO code, and then they take a photograph. Mr. GPHI, I know, is all over this, but you have to submit it back to us or do it in private. But there will be a prize. There'll be something done, right? We'll go on national television or something. We'll have to do something, right? Brilliant. Hilarious. Right, last thing, or nearly last thing. Jason, look at the time. You may or may not be aware of it, but we're all fans of Navigraph. We like using their software if you're subscribed to it. And of course, with the Navigraph Academy, which is free. But did you know, Navigraph have their own forums. And on their forums, they have their own wish list items. Stalling Point, thank you very much for the follow. Now, you might be saying here, basically, it's forum.navigraph.com, and you become a member, and this is where you can influence or indeed stay up to date with what Navigraph are working on in the background. And some of the things that there's been a lot of votes for, similar to what we have over on the FlightSim forums, right? Someone might suggest an idea and say, hey, I'd love this feature, and Navigraph will look at this and say, well, this is what our customers want, so we should do something. So some of the most viewed or voted features. I wanted to highlight one of them. Add a distance or bearing ruler, which I think is absolutely essential for Navigraph. So that's being voted on already. Add a distance or bearing ruler. And if you join up with the Navigraph forums, put your vote in as well, right? There was another one here as well. VF4 Navlog they've asked, can we do one of those? There's other votes. Better integration for X-Plane. Someone was looking for that. Moving map support for X-Plane. Some of them are old. They go well off into the sunset, but some of them are new. Taxiway information, adding airports, right? Or updating airports. So there's a full forum here that Navigraph have. This is just the wish list item. We can go back into information. They have tutorials. They have troubleshooting. A whole load of stuff going on here, right? So do be sure to check out forum.navigraph.com. I'll put that into the chat there because you can offload your ideas and help influence and shape the direction that Navigraph might be working on with upcoming releases. I think it's very important that as members of the FlightSim community, but of course as where's this now? Jesus. When I selected custom, it didn't give me the option of adding a custom airport. No worries, Scott. I'm sure we'll fix it. It gives us the chance to be able to, influence what Navigraph might be working on as, flight simmers or as customers as well. You know what I mean? So brilliant stuff there from Navigraph. Do you know? So do be sure to check it out. Also, write down that code up there on top of my screen before I turn it off. Right, moving on now. SayIntentions. Now, there's so much here, lads, of SayIntentions. Brian put out a video last week, and we showed it briefly because I was blown away. To give you like a condensed version of this, 2025 has been a massive year for SayIntentions, right? I mean, features, the number of users, and what the whole project, which is now 2, started off as a relatively small project, which is now massive. Some of the stats and figures that Brian shared on the video was incredible, right? But he also had a look at what 2026 is going to shape up as. So there's a few things here on the video I want to kind of show you, right? Godboy, welcome in. The overview and resources and things that SayIntentions have been doing over the past year, right? And we'll bring this back a little bit just to give you an idea. So from January, sky ops and aerial firefighting, predictive AI-based shortcuts, preview of the living world. They launched Skynet multi-traffic. Like all of the last 12 months in SayIntentions, they've done multiple things, right, over the last 12 months. And this is a breakdown of where their resources, their in-house resources of their team, they're a very talented team now with developers and coders and so on. 81% is purely for ATC and traffic injection. 81% of all of their development resources are spent on just ATC and traffic injection. 5% of the resources are on Pocket Sky. 11% are using the AI add-ons, checklists, Skynet, SkyOps, right? And then 3% on other, making the tea or something, right? But it's frightening to see that they can achieve so much, considering that 80% of their resources are being, working on ATC and traffic injection. So that was kind of a look back at what they did. And they did incredible stuff. They tripled in size as customers and staff, right? They now provide more ATC coverage than all human networks combined. Staggering, right? And they're very aware that, even Brian says, it's not going to be perfect, but that's what they're aiming for. They want this thing to be perfect. Now, there was other stuff. Because just some information again, the video was very good. It's very insightful, right? But what they're going to be adding for this year, or what they're targeting for this year, unify Skynet, traffic injection, and sequencing, and ATC into a single multiplayer universe. What they're aiming for here is they want the AI to be able to control everything once you're on their network, and ATC sequencing globally. Which is what, right? Increase the ATC accuracy rate. 99.1 is their reading. They want to get it up as high as possible. perfect traffic injection and sequencing. Now, Brian goes on to say, look, I put that in quotation marks. This will never be perfect, just like flight simulation will never be perfect. They are working towards a goal, and the goal is to make it perfect, right? So it's very interesting. Crafty Tiger's good to see it. Become the most indispensable and immersive add-on for flight simulation ever created. Like, in my view, this is, in my view, one of the most important add-ons you can possibly have. It just SkyOps, Skynet, Pocket Sky, ATC, traffic injection, the co-pilot stuff, the mentor, the tour guide, all that stuff. It's a massive product, right? But this is where the thing got interesting. And I had a quick listen to these the other day because Brian was talking about these new
here's another example.
Gen 3 voices. And this is getting absolutely mad. As AI, and we know the world is about to change, something big is going to happen with AI, and we're going to come to the next generation of it. Have a listen to these voices, right?
Predictive AI or
this
generative
is nuts.
AI or something like that to enhance your flight simulation experience. This is, again, one tiny example, but I wanted you guys to hear, what does the next generation of this stuff sound like? So these Gen 3 AI voices are like, oh, they're so good. Give this a listen. I want you to hear what this sounds like. Here you go.
American 1355 Kennedy ground, pushback and engine start approved, tail northeast. Lufthansa cargo 14 heavy Miami Sour, roger, continue ILS runway 9er approach. Frontier flight 466, contact departure on 120.8. Delta 035 heavy, climb and maintain flight level 260.
Guys, if you can tell the difference between that and a real human, you are far better than I am, because in my opinion, that is indistinguishable from what you hear on LEIB ATC. Those voices are AI generated. Check this out. Here's another example.
Delta 518 heavy, NorCal approach, climb and maintain flight level 260. Texas at 357 Las Vegas Tower, runway 26 right, wind 070 at 5. I'll nav Woody Pacific us. Delta 1702 Boston Center, good afternoon.
Yeah. Now, we can take it one step further with these new voices. We can add emotion directly into these Gen 3 voices. All right? I want you to hear this, because in this one, we've told the controller to sound slightly amused. Now, again, the AI can drive the emotion. The AI can decide the emotion, but making that emotion sort of manifest itself as part of the voice output is incredibly difficult. And it's impossible with the Gen 2 AI voices, but with Gen 3, listen to this.
Southwest 3175, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.1 when ready.
I don't know if you
Delta
just...
1022, read back correct. Contact ground on 127.925. American 302, Los Angeles Tower. Winds 220 at 6, runway 24 right, clear to land.
Like, isn't it absolutely crazy? I know CP is saying you can tell the difference. It's very hard, though. Some of the samples, you don't hear the breath, but in those last few, you do. You know. Brilliant. I've not seen anything new coming from Entourage. Do we know if they have plans for it? Yeah, they're adding more and more to it. I need to catch up and have a sit down with the lads, because they're working on so many different features, right? This is just something that I'm just like, whoa. Those voices, they sound so incredibly good. We were using SayIntentions the other day flying in Spain, and like to hear that Spanish accent, man alive, it was brilliant. So immersive. And the confidence knowing that they are fixated on making this better. Do you know what I mean? So it's a good video, goes on for about an hour and 20 minutes thereabouts. There's a QA session at the end, a lot of questions about that, particularly asking about, hey, is this going to be, Skynet free, or is there like a free tier or whatnot? So they do ask those questions, so do check it out. But some of the other things that they were looking at, a free tier is coming. Perhaps the most significant news is the confirmation of an upcoming free tier for a product that has maintained a strict paywall since its inception. The response represents a major shift. Brian confirms that this tier, tentatively called, SayIntentions Community, is expected to launch within weeks or a few months. It won't include the flagship voice ATC features, which remain cost prohibitive, mainly due to the cost of servers, right? However, it will likely include the new Groupie Flight Manager, which we have details here now in a moment, the commercial route boards, and also mission generation tools, which is pretty cool. Allowing pilots to enter the ecosystem without a credit card, the developer can integrate its tools into a pilot's daily workflow. Now, something else that they're working on, and this is still how it works, right? Anyone can be a partner of SayIntentions. They have a way to do it. You want to be a partner, you give them a donation, and now you're a partner. That's how you get access to the partner, right? So it is behind a paywall, but like that's a one-off thing. But anyway, what they tend to do, any new features, SayIntentions make it available to their partners first. And the reason why they do that, think of that as like the closed beta. That's what that's what it is. It's like a closed beta. Well, it's closed only to the partners. And that's why they want to control the amount of feedback and all this sort of jazz. So there isn't thousands of people saying, do this, make it do that. There's reasons for it, right? But the next thing they're working on, it's called Groupie. And this is all about the Group Flight Manager. The idea being to take away all the coordination you need to do with like Discord and all this sort of stuff. You can do it directly from within the software itself, meaning you can set up your flight, the departure gate or parking area, the route in which you're going to fly, the call sign, and also the gate or parking you plan when you get to your arrival airport. And then you build it all together. You then share it with your community. They click on the link. It'll give you a countdown. You can add it to your calendar. Right, so yeah, this flight is going to be on in 20 hours. I've done one of them. I think Ali did one as well. And it basically means everyone that's in your group flight, and you can lock it down to your own group, so it's only available to your group. And then you can use things like pilot-to-pilot communication, people talking to people within the group on designated frequencies. It's very, very good. It's a great idea. Great idea. Early days yet, but absolutely mad, right? Mad stuff from SayIntentions. And it's getting absolutely nuts. It really, really is. So looking forward to more news from SayIntentions. And oh man, it's nuts. It's nuts. At least for a good cause rather than the spike when data mining was a thing. Yeah, the price of everything, absolutely. I've not seen anything new for Entourage. Yeah, well, ask me about Entourage. Big Al says, AI control everything. Am I the only one that gets a shiver down my spine with quotes like that? Well, I mean, my opinion of AI, you know, it should only be used in terms of assisting, be it, you know, gaming, graphics, coding. What else does it do? I mean, maybe help you write your notes or take notes or help to explain things, perhaps. Do you know what I mean? It should be there to assist. I'm not a fan of AI taking over where it does it, you know, create me a video that'll go viral. I mean, and that's some of the crap you're starting to like. You're not only starting to see it, you see it. It's everywhere. Every video you flip up on shorts, they're all AI. Yeah, and it's like, lads, do you know what I mean? So like, a lot is said for the live interaction. Even if the live interactee is a complete muppet like me, you're stuck with me though. You see, but I think it's important that, you know, as consumers of naturally as flight sim consumers, right, as flight sim enthusiasts, we tend to be hyper aware of on the bleeding edge of technology. We just are, because that's what flight sims to me do. They're not built in a tight, small little ecosystem. They're built using the latest and greatest, not only from the aviation world, but also on the computer side of the world as well. So we do see an awful lot, right? We're all nerds, right? King of the nerds. But we are. We really are. And I mean that in a good way. So it's important for us that when we see things like AI and how it's being utilized, you know, it's important that, you know, you call out what isn't right, right? But also when you see opportunities, particularly when you look at what SayIntentions are doing, they're able to build this by using you know, AI servers that are processing all this information, and they're able to train it. Doesn't be perfect. It doesn't replace humans, but they're not trying to replace humans. Brian himself would say, you know, if you have the option of, you know, you want to fly with ATC on FlightSim, for example, and, you know, there isn't a controller available, but then of course fly with SayIntentions. If a human ATC controller comes on, absolutely go with them, right? Or in fact, if there is some sort of anxiety or you just want that bit of competence or confidence to transition from not doing ATC to getting onto ATC, well, AI is a huge trait and tool and learning aid that'll help you kind of smash through that transition. AI doesn't need to shout, even if it does shout at you, it's only AI. Shut up, do it again. Do you know what I mean? So there are certainly uses for it. I'm very excited to see, the potential of AI. I'm nervous in some regards because I see it replacing things, and I see people allowing it to replace things. I don't like that. Assist by all means, but not replace. Keep there's a reason why. There's chemistry or something. Call me old-fashioned, I don't know, but it's very important. Everything is becoming, it just becomes samey. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. It should be used as a tool, not a crutch. Yes. AI never turns on humanity, said no sci-fi movie ever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Scott, don't say that in front of the Mr. GBHI. Anyway, moving on. I thought it was interesting. Great news from SayIntentions, and I absolutely love these new voices when we get them. These Gen 3 voices, I think it's going to be such a game changer. And this groupie function that's being tested at the moment, awesome. Think of the simplicity now of trying to plan and organize a different flight. Click of a button, press this, you're in. Brilliant, genius. Do you know? So the last thing, lads, a shout out here, because both Cornwolf and Gibbo Ireland have been very busy today, and they have been busy by redesigning and developing the download section over on the TwoToneMurphy.com website, because it was getting a little bit crowded. Hats off to the lads, to Cornwolf and to Gibbo, because they have, as I said, they've tidied things up. So when you now go to the download section, you have a drop down if you wish, or you can go by thumbnail. All the 2020 add-ons are behind this thumbnail, the 2024 behind this thumbnail, checklists and manuals over here, and when it comes to trucking and whatnot over there. Now, there is more features and, stuff planned for the website. It's on my list of things to do, an overhaul of the data that's on there, right? I want to find more tangible, useful information, that helps you guys out. That's what I want to add. Plus, growing libraries of downloads, liveries, newest update there coming from the PMDG 777 freighter just released. Of course, we had the 737-8 released, the updates from Cyrus when it came to flow, and so on. There's a ton of stuff there already, and a lot more to come. So massive shout out and a thank you to Cornwolf and to Gibbo Ireland, the pair of lads in it, causing an absolute load of deadliness. So check it out, pardon me, and it's all free. All the downloads are for free. Brilliant. So with that said, brilliant. What time is it? Time to go home. Right, lads, thanks very much, and sure, we'll see you next time. But anyway, right, what have we to do? Turn back up your sound, number one. There we go. Now, did I cover everything I was supposed to cover? I think I did. I did. Right. So here we are now, back in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And what we're looking at here now. So with the E-Jets, from FlightSim Studios. That's what we're doing now, right? That's what we're doing now. So have a quick look at this. So what we're going to dive into this one. FlightSim Studio confirmed that the E-Jets development has entered stage 4A of the 5-stage roadmap, marking the beginning of experimental releases of the CFMS. At this stage, the studio reports that the system is now functionally complete, including full LNAV and VNAV path calculation, the complete AP version 2 autopilot system, and support for RNAV approaches. This marks the first time the CFMS has reached a level of stability where the team feel comfortable releasing it more broadly to users beyond internal and limited community testing. The experimental builds allows simmers to begin flying with the new FMS and autopilot logic while continuing to provide feedback ahead of the final release. FlightSim Studio reiterated its roadmap in the update, confirming that all internal and community testing states for LNAV only and LNAV VNAV functionality have been completed. Stage 4A introduces experimental public availability. So it's experimental. So they're expecting bugs. Let's be fair about it. They're expecting, yes, you could get some bugs with this, but it's good news because those who bought the E-Jets have been wanting this for such a long time now. So I thought I'd jump in here to the E190. I think we're in. Yes, this is the E190. And just give it a quick power up and have a look at some of the systems because, well, I flew the Lineage over an X-plane yesterday. Very, very impressive. But it's nice to see some of the things here. Some of the issues I can see, you know, this other screen, I can't seem to turn it off. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. But in terms of the displays, the logic and the movement of stuff, it's getting there, lads. I gotta say, this is getting there. We've no hydraulic power, hence, you know, we don't have our flight controls. But if we start adding some power into this machine, well, let's see what happens. So, safety pins can be removed. Our stairs and doors are open and all the jazz, but that's okay. APU control, we're going to open the APU power switch to turn it on. The door should be opening, which it is, just at the back there. And now we should be able to engage that APU. There's one. Try it again, Murphy. Come on, Betsy. Hold. There she goes. What's the better KJAC scenery? Xanos or Dreamflight? Not sure. Not sure. No, you'll pay for the privilege of early access beta testing and you'll like it. Yes, it's more accurate. Jesus. All right. So APU firing up. We do have sounds of it. Heat blur stuff happening here as well. Again, not a whole lot done kind of visually or with the sounds or aesthetics, although they are getting a bit of, you know, they're getting a bit of love and care and attention. The logic certainly seems to be good. Some of the features, when you compare this aircraft to what you have in X-Plane, well, there's limitations on this one, but not much, you know, not much. So if we were to have a look here now, let me see, electric and hydraulics, they're a little bit on the low side. Emergency brake, that's okay. The main work comes in here looking at the CFMS, where we have some information. So we can go into our route page, right? So looking at where we are, we're on the ground at Bozeman, and we can go to, I don't know, we can probably set up a very quick Simbury flight here to show you, right? Dispatch, new flight. Let's go KBZN, and I don't know, give us a nearby airport that we could probably make with this. Where's close? KEPH for the crack, right? KEPH. KEPH. And we're going to be in an Embraer E190. And it's important to note, like, we don't have many options in Microsoft Flight Sim when it comes to these E-Jets, right? Vertical did one, rubbish, stay away from it. Carenado, good to see you. This is much closer to the real stuff, you know. Okay, so we're going to generate that flight, and let's see what the story is. It's about 1 hour 45. Now, we're not going to do it, but flight ID, right? We put that in there ourselves. Now, in terms of pulling in a flight, we can go flight details, import our SimBrief flight. This should all connect in. There it is. SimBrief data import is done. Lovely hurdling. So we have all of that, right? We can add, put it back in again. Ground, charts, access to Navigraph. All the stuff that you would expect is there, right? So let me see here now. Flight plan report. I'm going to activate that. And we can go now to our departure page. So the runway here out of Bozeman is going to be 12. Any departures? It's the Big Sky 2. And that's going to bring us up to HIA. Apply. And we can put in the rest of our route. So it's going to be HIA and then straight into here. So we can put our arrival in. Runway 21. or nav from vectors and apply. So it's pretty much straight across the road, right? So we can go into our performance initialization, send request, or let me see, fuel reserve, perf data. None of this stuff isn't working right. Let me see, progress, our route page. Next, there's a disco, don't worry about that. Performance, let me see, takeoff, V speeds are there, right? Now we want to look at departure, no, that's fine. We want to look at cruise because this is where the our V profile really comes into it. So cruising altitude, flight level 260, it should be 360. So we can go 360. Step climbs if needed, right? What else do we have here? Climb, descent, that's all grand. Climb profile, top of climb altitude, our target speed, which we can do all of this, and how much fuel we're going to have, and so on and so forth, right? Climb differential, performance data, and cruise, so that's all okay. Back into flight plan. So when it comes to how much fuel we have, all our systems here, fuel. So fuel on board, we got 3,420, probably not enough. But you get the idea, right? So by having, turn this guy on, by having the, and why didn't that come up? By having the VNAV stuff put in there now, by and large, it follows it. Some issues arise where it doesn't, and obviously that's where you need to feed this back. Yeah, hey, I did this flight. This is what the airplane did, right? But you can have, you know, you'll definitely get your vertical profile. We can see it even here now, right? Flight level between 7,700 and 9,000, and then we go on, we continue, and we can actually go off and, you know, look at more of this. Display over here. Over here. Why is it not working? Nav aids. That's okay. Right. So as we move up and along, you can see where we go to our cruise altitude. And then we have, you know, we have a disco naturally enough because it is such a short route out of there, right? Now, some of the updates that we've done here, especially with the font, has been done as well. So it's not just kind of, yeah, we just made the thing work and it's following just any old kind of profile. It's following your VNAV profile, or at least it should for the most part. And then the other bits and bobs that we have at the aircraft now, yes, you can go flight directory, you can go into nav, you can arm all that, altitude, autopilot as you would expect it to do. It is working an awful lot better, right? So in terms of doors, I don't think we have a control here for the doors, or are we just clicking them? I don't know, does that single click work? Yeah, it does. So doors are closing. Get rid of that connection. APU is a running, so we'll turn off the GPU and get rid of you. Engine covers, cones, wheel chocks. Blue is good for off, I think. Parking brake is already set. Everything's disappearing. And then we go for a quick start up here on the engines. Run and start. Mr. Dan, take it easy. It's pretty good. I flew it the other day. It's only a small airport with interior modeling. Ooh, I was surprised how automated the E-Jet is. Yeah. These are very automated. So engine 2 coming online. Sounds and chatter and whatnot in the aircraft. It's decent. Nice heat blur there. Sounds outside. There we go. Very impressive. Just saying with numero uno. Modeling is so good, isn't it? Has a lot of promise. No, it does. And like, you know, I think anyone who had the E-Jets starting off, yeah, it was rough. But they have progressively got, you know, they're getting there. And with this new experimental branch, it is looking very promising. Sleeveless says a couple of days ago you had a WASM crash. Oh, no way, man. No harm to delete the WASM folder, but also check to see if there's any conflicting add-ons. These aircraft are very temperamental. I find that, you know, I've had to remove the CownSim stuff just to be sure we're all right. You know what I mean? Okay. Bunch of flaps. There to go. Animations probably could be a little bit better there, but it's good. Okay, APU coming off. Off the brake. Give it a little roll. Good sounds, right? Roy says, I have the 170 in the hangar since release day. Curious about how it behaves. I'd say give it another shot. I mean, we'll arm VNav here as well. FMS speed can be set as well. Use now. Just have a quick check on an initial takeoff here, just for the sheer crack of it, right? Landing lights coming on. Oh yeah. A lot of the newer EJets have replaced off the 146s. These pretty much did, yeah. Did they still have the on the pedestal? On the pedestal. They had a something there, yeah. The post-it, they do, yeah, they do, Roy, yes, yes. Alright, so let's see how this wants to handle. We're going to give a heading mode first. Okay, so horizontal armed, power coming in, engine stable. We'll give it a roll. Airspeed live.
knots.
80 knots.
We won. Rotate.
Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Pretty nice, right? Okay, let's see if we can do it autopilot. LNAV, VNAV. I didn't bother with my transponder. Let's go auto throttle, please. Easing out. Now let's try and confuse it. Let's go heading mode and bring our heading over to 120 degrees. Vertical track. Watch your speed. Flight level change. She should roll out now. 120. Remember we put in 200. $6,000, really? FMS speed. Alright, it's more the vertical climb it's trying to chase here. It seems to be struggling a bit, doesn't it? But then again, we're not following our waypoint, so it doesn't really know in terms of VNav, right? LNav, let's see can it take us on course, and let's go direct now to Aden. So direct Aden. It's a fairly sharp right hand turn. Compared to the X-Craft, X-Craft is different league. The X-Craft is a different league. But this is getting better. It is struggling here in the vertical, right? Like, it's just struggling a little bit. Like, it's trying to hunt it, like, you know what I mean? And like, okay, if we say weather, 9 knots, like, we're not exactly getting bashed out of it with the wind, do you know what I mean? So 15,000 is what I wanted. So if we go to our cruise, it'll be interesting to see what she'll do now. 36,000. And we'll go back into VNav for a climb profile, or climb profile rather. So it goes into flight level change rather than profile. That's interesting. FMS speed. So that's working fine. This should be reading profile, I think. Probably shoots up to that height. Yeah, it's a little bit on the old 5,000 feet a minute is ridiculous. Like the LNav seems to be working fairly well. The VNav is still struggling a little bit, but it is getting the profile. It's climbing us way too high. Like the logic in this, when we go into our, you know, if we go into our performance for climb, right? We're saying target speed, transition altitude, speed, altitude limit, that's grand, fuel remain, and that's grand. This speed of 270, like that's fine. Climb director maybe? No. It just seems a little bit heavy on the L climb. Bit of work needed, I think. But still very, very promising. Like the dials are looking better. Seems to be struggling there. Like 3,500 feet a minute climbing, that's not right. Well, maybe it is, but like... what are your thoughts? I mean, as you say, it definitely looks promising. Yeah, it still needs some work. I agree. She definitely needs a bit of work. So we're going to Aden, and then the next waypoint. So our progress is good here. Our vertical path, like, why is it going so high? This should be balanced a little bit better. It's a little bit too aggressive. It's technically working, right? What are we flying? This is the E190, the Embraer 190. And I think it's a little bit snappy turning. But the X-Craft one can do that as well. She can be a little bit snappy. So this green line, I don't know, she's kind of doing it there. what we're looking for here on a vertical profile, you don't want to see too much hunting. It can wave up and down. The weather impacts it as well. But you shouldn't see too much hunting. And to me, this is pretty good. Albeit, we were climbing a lot more aggressively there, a few minutes ago. But that's more like it. That's more of a gradual climb. That's following a vertical profile, hence VNAV. The descents are a different kettle of fish. Could be, yeah, could be. A bit of work, but I think it's getting there. I definitely think it's getting there. And again, lads, it's an experimental branch of the aircraft. It's it's not fully ready. Do you know what I mean? Right, we're going to quickly now move on and check out this airport. This is Bozeman, right? And I'll do a flight in the Embraer soon, because as I said, like I flew them already in X-Plane, so I'll jump back and we'll plan some flyage in these aircraft soon, right? So let's jump in here now and calm everything down there now, hey, and we'll just change the weather because I want to show you Bozeman. And let me see here, if we change the old month here a little bit, March, that'll do. Time of day, there we go. Not too early, but I want to go exploring here. So this is a brand new airport released by TaiModels, right? TaiModels. And it's that of Bozeman. Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport, the primary gateway to southwest Montana, one of the fastest growing airports in the region. Located just north of Bozeman, it serves as a convenient entry point for travelers heading to Yellowstone National Park, Big Sky Resort, and also the surrounding Rocky Mountains. The airport offers non-stop flights to major US hubs, making it accessible year-round for both leisure and business travelers. Handcrafted and detailed PBR ground markings and textures, detailed terminal interiors, realistic terminals, cargo facilities, and airport buildings created with Microsoft FlightSim PBR materials, accurate airport lighting, taxiways and aprons, optimized for performance, and there's even a fire effect inside the terminal or near the terminal. This is for sale right now. You can pick it up over on the iniBuilds website. It's about $22, right? And let's go exploring. Now, TaiModels, these guys do make some they make gorgeous sceneries, lads. They really, really do. And this is in a location, this is just I mean, look at the mountains in the distance. That's Montana neck of the woods, right? Absolutely gorgeous. So Montana State University, check it out. I mean, you know what I mean? Mr. Square Lee, good to see you, bud. Welcome in. I suppose the VNAV is experimental, so everything isn't necessarily going to work. 100%. 100%, Eamon. Yeah, exactly. Hope you're well, Mr. Square Lee. Stu says, seems to be more and more devs releasing early access experiment builds. If I'm honest, I'm not liking it if it becomes the norm. I think it's sadly becoming the norm. Do you know? So we're looking here on the landside area of the airport. So we'll head her up. It's a big enough... do you know, it's actually a very quaint airport, but it's big enough in terms of its size. So we'll come down here to kind of where the main entrances are, will we? And we'll get an idea here now as I speed up my camera. So a little bit of snow on the ground, that's departures. Let's ramble up the road here. Nice trees, car parking. They're not using default models, they're using their own. That tree, I suspect, shouldn't be there. Here's the arrivals hall. We've got a multi-story car park there, and that's further down to the control tower. So, well, let's go in. Into the arrivals baggage claim. That's nice. That's pretty cool. Where do these stairs go? They go up. Some of the departures: Denver, Chicago, O'Hare. Bozeman Hotspur. I love exploring airports like this. What's the Skoda count? I don't actually know, Al. Considering I did see some Renault Megans out there. Are Renault Megans a thing in America? Oh, we could be lucky. That looks terribly Skoda. They're kind of no-named kind of cars, you know. Good job, Cyrus killed the cat twice, right? So, look, the car rental area, There's a man going for the walk. Okay. There's a floating head. Or hair. Uh-oh. Someone's lost their wig. Copper Horse Market. It's mad the way of all the little, all the shops, isn't it? Bozeman. Alright. Do not enter, exit only. Jeez, there's a nice bit of stuff going on here, isn't there? What's this now? A Tyrannosaurus Rex. Jesus. This bronze skull was cast from a Tyrannosaurus Rex discovered in Montana, donated by Virgil Schutz, Linda and Rick Allen, Susan and Rip McIntosh, B and Jim Taylor, and Sally and Robert Ullman on behalf of the National Advisory Board to the Museum, Montana State University. No way. That's mad, isn't it? That was awesome with the invisible cloak. Nicely done, right? This is pretty cool. I'm loving the interior. There's a bobcat, native to Montana. Bite your arse off. This is kind of cool. Guardian Spirit. Dennis Harrington. Planet Bronze Art Gallery in Bozeman. The grizzly bear embodies the awesome majesty of our wilderness lands. Be Janie then. Who's your one? She's singing anyway. Belgrade Lick. Oh, look at this. This is class. Bozeman Hot Springs. I do. This is class. I've always wanted to go to Montana. There's a fair bit of stuff going on in here, isn't there? There's the fire effects. What do they look like at nighttime? An open fire in the airport? That could be nice. Flight simming has come a long way. It really has. Well, you don't need to anymore. Now you can do it in the sim, right? Museum of Rockies, Montana State University, Bozeman. I need to go. I need to go, lads. I mean, look how happy everyone is when they're here, right? Right, let's ramble on through. What's upstairs here? Jason, there's a bobcat jumping off the roof, look. Let's have a look. So we seem to have, like, departure areas here. The gate, right? These are gates, grand, okay. What's beneath us or beside us? Service buildings, the gates. So there's a fair whack of interior stuff done, isn't there? There really is. There's a lot of the interior stuff done. It's like a little library look. Ooh. It should be called Hannah Montana Airport. Right? On there now, hey, we go up this way. Were we in here yet? The restaurant. Shunk. Oh, that's deadly. Like, it's basic in terms of function. It's an airport, but there's a lot of attention to detail gone into the interior, isn't there? This is fantastic. Yes. She's not turning off the lights. I'll sort that out, Mr. Two-Tone. Don't you worry at all. I will live in Montana and I will marry a round American woman and raise rabbits and she will cook them for me and I will have a pickup truck, maybe even a recreational vehicle, drive from state to state. Do they let you do that? No papers. What a movie, Piper. One ping only, officially. This is class. I'm liking this, man. Look at this, like, look at that scenery in the background. Like, look at that view, like, Jesus, lads. Savage. Absolutely savage. And then it gets busy down. Ooh, Ray-Bans and the bar. Oh, we found the bar. And another open pit fire, look. Isn't that mad? They have that at the airport. Sit in front of the fire. That's deadly. No drinks, though. For crying out loud. Right, let's go over to some of the services. We'll go to the tower. On this way now. Plenty of clutter around the place, isn't there? Aircraft, Yellowstone, Jet Center, deadly. It's a great spot for flying in the old it's a great spot for flying in the old business jets to here, wouldn't it? Tower's basic, but at least there's a tower, right? And then jet aviation, so all our FBOs, I suppose. Is there a signature here? Yellowstone Jet Center. Galushan Flying Service. Galushan. We go up here now. Just all Yellowstone stuff. Do you mean they like finding places with no bar? Listen, that happened once. And we will never forget it. Ooh, the lighting. The lighting's flickering though. Is that an LOD thing? Yeah, it's an LOD thing. Alright. The lighting is pretty here, lads, isn't it? Let's see here now. We'll come in this way. Ooh. Oh, they're just beacons, are they? Jesus, that lighting is good. Look at that. Oh, Jesus, that's very good. Look at the state of that look. Do you see the reflection? That's class looking. See the reflection on the textures? That's real nice. I come back down where the terminal is. Oh yeah, that night lighting is superb. That's gorgeous lighting. I'm liking that. Bozeman, we're gonna have to do some flights in and out of Bozeman, lads, for sure. So there we have it, Bozeman from TaiModels in association with iniBuilds. Yeah, I think it looks pretty. I think it does look pretty. It's in a wonderful area. I mean, that landscape, look at the landscape. No Skodas in the car park, yeah, unflyable. But yeah, it's very, very, very pretty. Right, for our last bit now this evening, lads, we're going to load up in the MD-11. And we're going to go to somewhere very warm. Let me see here now. MD-11, there should be. We just happen to have it in a shamrock livery because why the devil not? Catas Batas, put on the kettle, and we'll go to Ibiza. Let us have a look. So, iniBuilds Ibiza, and or Ibiza, iniBuilds Ibiza, and it just received an update. We'll go live weather. I imagine it's quite nice, right? You need to set up a Skoda rating, right? There's a gazillion Skodas in X-Plane default. There is, and are they Skoda? Or, no, I think the Volkswagen's Roy. Are they? I think so. Now, lads, the story here. The update that iniBuilds Ibiza got was mainly targeting the jetways, a couple of taxiways, minor markings, and they've reconfirmed all the parking sizes and spots in and around the airport itself. So they'd class it as a small update, but a fair bit of work has gone into it. And it is Ibiza Enhanced, and it's gorgeous, and it just looks warm already, right? Now we'll jump into this behemoth and make sure all our settings are working, which they appear to be. So quick check here now, aircraft state services. So we can close that. And if we want, we can call up GSX and we'll ask them for a bit of request deboarding, request boarding, request boarding. Okay, so they're doing their things. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with Ibiza, iniBuilds released this, and it's a little cracker, this one, right? Because flying in, there's a reason why Ibiza was so popular, and it wasn't just, you know, what was that program that used to be on in the 90s about Ibiza? We used to have to stay up late to watch it, you know what I mean? Here's a lady sitting out reading the newspaper. But it's the standards of iniBuilds of what you would expect. There is tons of detailing here, both airside and landside, all the way down to, like, you know, offices, ATC control, ground services, There's tons of stuff going on at this airport, and it is a fairly hefty airport. It's a big airport, right? From car parks all the way down to here. Attached, yeah, why not? Like, iniBuilds really do go for that kind of photo realistic, right? The photorealism stuff, and you can kind of see that because that looks very, very good, right? If you've been to this airport before, so you're looking at it going, yeah, that's pretty much bang on, right? And also, iniBuilds from time to time
Passenger's bus is coming.
will include an Skoda, but you have to go looking for it. And when you find it, you need to you keep it. There it is. Ah, sure, Janie. Then look at the Janie. Then isn't it only gorgeous? Isn't it? I mean, of all the cars, there's another one. She was trying to hide in us. Look, right. Anyway, it's a huge airport, and like, look at the design of it, lads. So it's one of these enhanced airports, meaning that it's not a native 2024. It's a 2020 aircraft, but it's been airport, but it's been enhanced, right? And it works so very, very well in 2024. And if you have a look at it, like, it is a big airport. And if you look at the surround, then you know, you got the towns and villages and whatnot all the way around you. It's quite a nice destination, right? Next to the Bentley. Yeah, the Bentley was punching above its weight. But, you know, this is class. Has anyone flown into Ibiza in the real world? Chris, thank you very much indeed. As I say, like, hyper detail from iniBuilds, which is class. So we'll ramble on down, and the interior's all over the shop. As in the amount of work that they put into these sceneries, it is frightening. They use that plexiglass stuff as well. But like, when you see the interiors here, just inside in the terminal, like, it's absolutely brilliant. Tons of detail. Tons of detail. It's very good, isn't it? As we go through it at 100 miles an hour. There's the sunglasses hut. There's the place I can't pronounce. And you get the idea, right? Well, Jays, I've gone through the buildings. Here we go. Arrivals. The arrivals area. Car rental. Right? Like, look at the size of the place. Isn't it friggin' huge? It's a huge airport. Now we're down to our departures, look. I want to go to Ibiza. It looks like it's going to be a nice day here as well. We're on live weather. It's very good detail, lads. Very, very good. So yeah, we'll do a quick check of our night lighting here as well. We have checked out this airport before, but like, when you see, like, iniBuilds do some amount of updates. Oh, Jesus, that's savage looking. Look at that. Now that's very nice, isn't it? That's brilliant looking. Savage. Yeah, Club and Nights. Yeah, sure, Ibiza, you know. Nice lighting out here on the ramp as well. Yeah, it's impressive, isn't it? Very, very impressive. It reminds me a bit of Corfu. Same sort of airport layout. Although this is considerably larger, you know. The water park next to the airport was cool. Big water slide. Landing aircraft fell so close. Great view of the airport. The water park. Whereabouts? There's a water park next to the airport, says Eamon. Or it's a bit like Knock. Yeah, a bit like Knock. Just look at the beach there, look. Bloody hell. Don't know if it's still there. Ah, okay. Look at the approach in here, though. Isn't it gorgeous with all the rocks and that? Beautiful. Beautiful. Quarry up the road. And then we have our airport. It's spectacular. And iniBuilds, it's just, as I say, like, the sheer amount of updates that they push out. And, like, these are small updates. They just put, yeah, we did this. It's like, holy crap, lads. Like, they resized all of the parking slots here as well. Everything's been corrected. It's very, very good. So we shall move on abruptly because we're now, friends, we're looking at this behemoth. And there is an update from TFDI Design for the MD11. Now, we don't have a release date just yet, but I want to give you an idea of the work that TFDI have been doing. So, for example, in November, and we'll start in November, all the additions. Then we have all the fixes. And yes, I'm still scrolling and all the changes, right? And that's just what they did on that day in November. Then we go to the 17th of December. Like, you talk about, you know, an aircraft update. Then we go to the 21st of December. And that's the last one we got was on Christmas Eve. Right? The collector's edition only. So that's what they're working on at the moment. Effectively what we have with the MD11, it is a major update. The inclusion of new textures, the inclusion of new sounds, the new engine models, new variants being put into it with our Pratt & Whitneys. There is an absolute barrel load of updates for this aircraft. And anyone who has the MD11, sure, I don't need to tell you how good it is. It is an exceptionally good plane. Bearing in mind, this is the MD11 running in 2024, which will work in 2024. We are expecting the native 2024 build, right? I cannot wait for this one, yeah. Let me see. July, you're going to see it. I've no release date for this. Is this the same level as Rotate's MD11? Yeah, I have both. This is a very, very good aircraft. TFDI have done an exceptional job with this. Like, so much so, if we want to get in and start looking at some of the logic, right? Flyby Gods, welcome in. Cheers, buddy. Welcome aboard. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had an awesome stream. We're here just at the end of ours, but we're having a quick look at the upcoming MD11 update. If you'd like to have an old gawk, but you're very welcome in. So inside the flight deck, upgraded textures all over the shop as well. EFB has seen some love. GPU is connected, and again, it has the unmistakable MD11 sounds, right? So we'll go battery on, and give that a moment. Arm the emergency battery. Buttons and things and stuff are going to start lighting up, right? So let's go for the, we'll get the fire warning on this, or the second one, I think. Okay. Ground power.
Autopilot.
And we have some nice sounds coming in. And there's always been nice sounds on this. They're absolutely brilliant. Okay, pumps leave them alone at the moment. Emergency lights armed. Overhead lights. Put on the nav and logo lights. Right.
Passengers bus is coming.
Galley external on. That's the galley turned on. We have a number of tests you can do in this aircraft as well. So APU fire test.
Engine 1 fire.
And she'll continue engine 2 fire, engine 3 fire, APU fire. All of them work. When we go into some of the logic down in the aircraft, let's have a look. Aloha Jay, good to see you. Yes, D-Jets, you can scroll back in the video, buddy. We were there a few moments ago. What are your thoughts on the CJ3 Plus? Martin Daly, good to see you, Martin. I checked it out when it was just released, or very close to being released. I haven't really put much time in it since then. But if it's something you're interested in, let me know. Right, on with the park and brake, panel lights. We can probably brighten up our screens here as well. We've got buttons for these fellas here. It's been a hot minute since I've flown this plane. We last flew this across the Atlantic. Where was the buttons for this stuff? I thought we had buttons there for the screens, no? Did they live over there? There's some lights. I thought we had screen brightness, something or other. The voice was from a lady, Kim Crow, that's right. Actually recorded from the DCMD planes. There's a documentary about it. That's right, yeah. Nuts, isn't it? Like the MD-11 is super airplane. They're still flying in cargo configuration, right? Panel glare shield. We can probably fire up the APU to get a bit of soundage, will we? Let's have a look. Cargo temperature, leave it off. Nav pressure. APU gen, APU pumps. APU coming on. So the APU will start up itself. And what else do we have going on here? Arrow, weather. What else do we have? Radios are grand. Here's my lights. Pretty cool, right? Chalks away, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. So display's all looking I mean, you'll see it at night time, right? If you change this to night time, wait till you see the state. Wait till you see the state. Like, need we say any more? Isn't that just gorgeous?
Jesus.
Sourdough Man, good to see you. Welcome in, buddy. Like, isn't that something? I think we have a dome light up here somewhere. We can, let me see. There's the dome light. Lav, get the beacon light on for the crack as well. And the runway turn-off lights, just to show you a little bit of what's going on outside. Like, isn't that lighting superb? Now, this is a passenger configuration, and we have a cabin.
This way. Hello.
Very fancy.
May I see your light box?
Right, that APU is available. APU on, and we should be able to hear that. This APU making noise in the background. The noise, man. Very pretty at night time, isn't it? Sorry, Roy's asking the storm light. Dome, thunderstorm. So they're the storm lights. And there's all our other lights on full tilt. It's just done so well, isn't it? It's stunning. The lighting on this thing is stunning. All right. So what do you think? Visually, massive overhaul, but also then with the systems, sounds have been tweaked. Just so much work has gone into this aircraft. Now, there's one or two issues that I found with the LOD. You know, Pratt & Whitney engines as well. Yeah, these are the Pratt & Whitney, I think. I think they are the Pratt & Whitney, aren't they? Yeah, these are the Pratt & Whitney. Right, we're going to tell GSX to shag off here for a second. Let me see. So let's close up everything. And, well, let's give this thing a scream to have some engines. They're all automatic. Okay, looking good, looking good. Now, bleed air. Before you go any further, Murphy, APU on, APU bleed. That's all good. That's all good. And let's go for engine 3. Okay, let's have a listen. There's some spinach. Okay, so the LOD issues, I think, is mainly with the doors, right? Mainly with the doors. And last, we're going to go for engine 1. Oh, Jesus. Sounds good, doesn't it? Right, engine's running. Let's listen to the sound of the flaps. Beautiful wings on this, isn't there? Okay. Yeah, 100% on, yeah. The view is still running, but we'll give it a couple of revs just to listen to it. With the cockpit windows off the C-17? No way. Right, mind your ears, we'll give it a bit of oomph. Jesus, though, right? Very, very, very good. Excellent, in fact. And even the internal sounds, you know.
Stabilizer.
Mud flap.
Stabilizer. Brake.
Nice, isn't it? Very, very nice. What's the registration on this aircraft? November 272 Whiskey Alpha. All right. AP was still running. And just like that, they're shut down. Pretty cool, right? So there's a lot more to it, like visual updates, sound updates, systems updates, updates all over the place. Absolutely incredible. I didn't notice it, Roy. I thought they had that. The engine's kind of wobbling. I haven't noticed it on this build. Now again, lads, it's not released yet. They're still working on it, but it's definitely come on leaps and bounds since I've last flown this in FlightSim 2020 and last year. You know, but it's definitely coming along. So very exciting stuff to see here from TFDI Design, and yeah, I'm looking forward to flying this behemoth very soon. It is such a nice airplane to fly, and I love a trijet. I think they're absolutely incredible. They're just a gorgeous machine, and we do have a Firefly Air livery for it. You need to convert the liveries up to the newest standards, so that won't be the easiest thing in the world, but there are ways around it, and yeah, I think it's superb. Last question, update on prices. I'm not quite sure. Where is it now? MD11 update. So effectively what this is, it's the 2024 support. You know, they're hard at work at bringing the 2024 version to life. That's what this one is, right? Let's see here now. Now, the extended simulation pack is also something that's in development. Now, I don't know if I can show any of that off, but basically the extended simulation of it will include additional features to the aircraft. I'm not quite sure I'm okay to show that stuff off, so I'm going to hold off on that. But there's more, obviously, than what meets the eye with this aircraft. Yeah, Zith, 100%, that's what it is. Failures and so on. I wasn't sure that they make that public. Wear and tear failures, consequence to how you operate the aircraft. And like when you talk about like the rounds of realism, like even the droop there on the gear door, this is an exceptional aircraft, lads. It really is. They've done a cracker job. And like to learn to fly this aircraft, it takes a little bit of Boeing, a little bit of Airbus, and a little bit of Douglas, and it kind of horses it all in together. And I gotta say, it's, you know, this is a real manual aircraft to fly, but it does have a lot of, you know, logic and automation in it. I think if you can get your head around this or spend time learning how to fly it, you're really, really going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. I don't know, is that off the air start or what is it? ASU or GPU? I don't know what that door is. It's all Douglas. But when you compare it to like Airbus or Boeing, they're similar systems. That's a fuel door, it looks like. Is it? Or exhaust? APU is out the back here. That's our APU. It's for the air. Yeah, I think it's for the air. Like even the details on the wings, look. Slats. Then we have the flaps. Like it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I can't wait for you to be flying this soon, you know. Oh, they leave it open on the ground so it doesn't pressurize. There we go. Outflow valve for pressurization. Thank Clem. Landing lights animation's also done. We're on APU power, so we should have landing lights. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very, very pretty, isn't it? It's a stunner, lads. It really, really is.
Hello there.
Just an absolute stunning aircraft. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Do you know? But yeah, as long as the engine's, yeah, 100%. But no, it's on the way anyway. So if you already own it, update coming soon. If you haven't yet bought TFDI Design's MD-11, this is a real one to consider, because as I say, it flies so differently, and it's just one of those unusual-ish sort of aircraft. I mean, I feel the same way for iniBuilds A340. They're just not as popular, they're not as known, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, both passenger and freighter, and they have the Rolls-Royce and Pratt & Whitney engines. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is tonight's FlightSim news. We're back in 12 hours. We're going to be doing some Navigraph tomorrow with our Pilot Academy. That's tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock Zulu. And then we have the VATSIM flight tomorrow night. We're going to be flying out of Las Vegas over to San Francisco, which I'm very much looking forward to that. We'll do our briefing tomorrow as well and plan for that flight. So if you're new to flying on VATSIM, we'll go through a bit of a pilot's briefing before we get going for our flight tomorrow night. But all the aircraft that we've shown, the E-Jets and of course the MD-11, definitely be planning to fly these on an upcoming stream soon. Next week, we're more than likely checking out the Learjet 35A, all its new updates, and we also have those brand new Moza MRP pedals to show off as well. It's going to be some crack having them on the desk. I'll figure it out, lads. I'll figure it out. But yeah, lots of stuff to happen between then. We'll have our Navigraph in the morning, VATSIM on Thursday night, and then we have a group flight flying around the Rio Grande in the United States on Friday night. I'd very much love for you to join us as we unwind ourselves into the weekend. But yeah, feet cam, can't wait for that. Yeah. I need to figure out what sort of socks to wear. I think I've good socks here I can wear. I think I've a right pair of funny socks I can wear, you know what I'm like. But anyway, lads, thank you all so very much. Thank you, CP. Yes, I'll make sure they're on the ground. I won't trip over them. And yeah, We'll see you tomorrow morning, 1100 Zulu. Until then, thank you so very much indeed for tuning in, and have a lovely evening. See you on the next one.
You shouldn't be.
Do you need a hand?
No, I don't need a. Do I need a hand?
It's heavy, yeah. Jesus, Murph! What have you
We're doing a thing, right? We're almost supersonic. No, we're only at 400 knots. That was the most cinematic anticlimax ever. Yeah, but hang on, give it time. We're doing it. You're gonna miss the ground, you big ape. Hang on. Bank angle. Just put it in the ground, Murph. Stop showing off. Because it does have crash physics. Watch. This'll surely blow up. All is well in the realm. I promise you can make. Oh, there it is. It landed like a dart, and now it's fine again. Yeah, we broke the plane. We absolutely broke the plane. Yes.